Searching for the best in news, sports and entertainment. We got everything you need and so much more, yeah.
98.5 FM.
Oluyole.
98.5 FM.
Hear me now. To your dial to the number one station. Educative and quality information. Brighten up your day in so many ways. Tune to 98.5.
Oluyole. 98.5 FM.
98.5
FM. Oluyole. 98.5 FM. 98.5 FM.
Okay, still very much on to Oluyole FM 98.5 is upper 6, and it's time for conversation with Dayo and Tola.
Conversation with Dayo and Tola. Conversation with Dayo and Tola.
A beautiful Saturday morning to you from wherever you're listening across the world. This is Oluyole 98.5 FM. Check your time, it's 6:31 a.m. Time for conversation with Dayo and Tola. I am Oladayo Ogunbowale.
I am Tola Teriba. Good morning.
Alright, it's the 8th day of the 8th month of the year 2020. 0808 2020. This is a network program coming to you live from the radio network of the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, right out of our Iliakede Orita Basharon studios here in Ibadan. This is once again Oluyole 98.5 FM. Being a network program means we're also coming to you live from wherever you listen across Oyo State and beyond via Agility 92.1 FM and Okiogun 96.3 FM. A very big good morning also to our online audience on Facebook, facebook.com/Oluyole 98.5 FM, and Twitter at Oluyole FM. Those are our handles and usernames on those two platforms. On Facebook is at Oluyole 98.5 FM, on Twitter at Oluyole FM. We're streaming live on those two platforms as we speak. Our website remains the same, www.bcus.tv/listen, bcus.tv/listen. You can listen to us live as the program proceeds today and every day. Check us out also on Instagram at Oluyole 98.5 FM, Radio Garden, and online radio platform mixler.com/Oluyole FM. In due course, the phone line will be open for you, our distinguished listeners, to join the conversation. This is Conversation with Dayo and Tola, where we give you newspaper review with top-notch analysis, and of course, in due course, you get to contribute to the show. Once again, you are welcome. It's the 8th day of the 8th month of the year 2020. Today is International Cat Day. Cat. International Cat Day. International Cat Day is a celebration which takes place on the 8th of August every year. It was created in 2002 by the International Fund for Animal Welfare. International Cat Day is also referred to as World Cat Day in some countries. Since its inception, it has been growing worldwide. Okay, so International Cat Day.
Unfortunately, in this part of the world, people, all the typical domestic cat, the pussycat. People don't like the pussycat in this part of the world. Not many people.
Because some actually, some believe they are domestic animals, some keep them, but for some spiritual and religious reasons.
Yes, when you do keep them, your neighbors tend to see you as odd.
You have some witchcraft, you keep, but of course, we know the biological, reasons why you might have a cat around. If you have plenty of rats, anywhere there's a cat, you will hardly find rats.
They use them in the big hotels. Sometimes when you get to the big 5-star hotels, you just see a cat maybe along the corridors.
Use them
very rarely, but you know they are there.
So they use them to control rodents. All right, International Cat Day for cat lovers. Today is the day for that cat. In some countries of the world, they actually treat them even better than some dogs, and all that. All right, so for what it's worth, today is the day for the cats. I will go straight to the papers. I have a copy of the Punch newspaper,
and I have a copy of the Guardian on Saturday.
Okay, I'm sure you can guess the immediate headline. Edo crisis. Pro-APC lawmakers list Obaseki's sins. Serious. In letter to Malami. There's a writer. I won't recognize factional speaker, says Obaseki. Attacks Ganduje. Edo governor, ignorant of constitutional order, says Tinubu. And we have Oshiomhole has hijacked Izeyamu's campaign. DG. APC Governors Forum. Okay.
What were they expecting?
That's a short from inside, though. Okay. All right.
PDP Wike won against plot to remove Obaseki. And we also have Buhari endorses Izeyamu, cautions against Rivers Zamfara experience. PDP governors condemn alleged police invasion of Edo Assembly. Pages 2 and 3 of the Guardian on Saturday.
Well, killings. Ohaneze, Afenifere, Pandef orders storm southern Kaduna today. That's on page 9 of the Punch newspaper.
While they are storming southern Kaduna, Mason says natives flee southern Kaduna over attacks, killings. The natives are already fleeing. I hope they meet anyone there. By the time they get there.
Okay. COVID-19 mixed reactions as court fines Naira Marley 200,000 naira. Yes, he was arraigned yesterday and fined. So page 10 of the Punch newspaper.
Banner headline of the Guardian on Saturday: 4 crisis looms again. Ex-depot price of 138.62 kobo. Not friendly. Marketers tell NNPC. Investment pump price to remain uncertain. Without proper regulation, experts insist federal government keeps mum. Page 2. The Guardian on Saturday.
Boko Haram ordered me to renounce my religion or be another Leah Sharibu, freed victim. Page 24 of the Punch newspaper.
I was remembering Leah Sharibu this morning. It's as if Nigerians have almost forgotten about that young lady.
That's life.
Edo Guba, PGF DG urges Oshiomhole to exercise restraint. We also have apolitical, insist Edo police boss.
I'm talking about the bomb that went off in a farm in Borno State. We don't know where bomb that killed my brother came from. Sibling of Borno attack victim. Page 24 of the Punch newspaper.
And there's a feature story: federal government's COVID-19 palliatives, why Nigerians are not feeling the relief. That's on page 27 of the Guardian.
All right, and we have COVID-19 churches reopening in Lagos and Ogun. Our Lagos Ogun churches will not reopen. MFM. So if you're a member of that church, there won't be church this Sunday in Lagos and Ogun. The General Overseer has decided that for now they will not be opening.
Lopeng embarks on indefinite strike in Lagos over deplorable roads orders. Page 7 of the Guardian on Saturday.
Well, Jonathan cautions against politics of bitterness. That's on page 17 of the Punch newspaper.
Aisha Buhari in Dubai for medical treatment.
No, Miss Martin. Is here. Aisha Buhari flown to Dubai to treat neck pain.
Neck pain.
Page 9 of the Punch newspaper.
Neck pain.
Money is good though.
Neck pain.
If you know, there's this small part of my leg that's been paining me, and I've just been using balm.
Well, maybe there are
Later, I would like to go to Dubai and Germany.
Maybe there are categories of neck
This
pain.
brother smiling on the other side of that. You two, you don't want to go? Levels.
So,
Hey!
no hospital in the entire federation can treat neck pain.
Tola.
But there are categories of neck pain.
Hospital.
But there are categories of neck pain that
Dubai is also
cannot be treated
good
in
for
Dubai.
vacation. Well, and for some simple shopping. All right, Aisha Buhari flown to Dubai to treat neck pain. Page 9 of the Punch newspaper.
Okay. Border closure not permanent policy, says Oshibaju. That's on page 6 of the Guardian on Saturday.
Well, today is Saturday, is weekend. Talking about entertainment lovers and all that. Most dancers don't have health insurance. They use drugs, says Kafi. Of course, an experienced dancer herself there talking. So they don't have any. They just use drugs. What kind of drugs she didn't mention anyway? Whether it's Panadol, we don't know. So, but she said most dancers do not have health insurance. They just use drugs. Okay, so that's about that. From here.
US student killed in factory accident and buried amidst tears.
Yeah.
Or your NLC chair decries exploitation of workers by foreign companies. State begins investigation. Says family will be compensated. Let's talk about compensation.
Exactly. Is there any compensation that would? I will return to husband who abandoned me, mother of 2 with blue eyes. That's on page 11 of the Punch newspaper. When did it become a crime to have blue eyes? But you saw her with blue eyes before you approached her. Actually, she even looks nice with the blue eyes anyway. So you felt the blue eyes was nice.
I would be proud of her if I
impregnated her. Gave birth to 1, gave birth to 2, then you ran away.
And then you remembered she has blue eyes. You suddenly remember
Some
she has
men
blue
deserve
eyes.
to be beaten 5,000 strokes of the cane, for him to come back to his senses. Well, she has said she will not return. Details on page 11 of the Punch newspaper.
Woman dies in Mautu tanker accident. That's as articulated vehicles return on Apapa Oshodi Road.
Wow. Bayelsa unfairly treated in federal appointments infrastructure, says Diri. That's the governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Doye Diri. Says Bayelsa State is unfairly treated in federal appointments and infrastructure.
And still about the politics, there's this feature story and Saturday politics in the Guardian, and it's referring to Edo House of Assembly as Oshiomhole Obaseki's political chess board.
Wow.
A game of chess.
I'm telling you, it's a serious matter
Who
here.
are the pawns? Who are the players?
Okay, senior more political or economy story Saturday, so there's so much entertainment here. National health workers threaten strike over unpaid COVID-19 allowance. That's on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. PDP National Working Committee sets up electoral committee for Cross River. You have US envoy hands over ventilators to federal government on Tuesday. The ventilators promised by Mr. Trump will be handed over on Tuesday.
About time too.
And we have Akwa Ibom High Court orders Chief of Army Staff to apologize to Monarch over breach of human rights. Okay. And we have APC crisis. Court dissolves Zamfara. Excos orders fresh congresses. You've lost the election, and they are still fighting. It is well. All right. So, one details of that story: APC crisis, court dissolves Zamfara, Excos orders fresh congresses. Page 9 of the Punch newspaper.
Well, I think we're good to go for sports. sports.
Just before sports, we might not have had the last about NDDC. Failed contracts. NDDC asks Senator to refund 2.5 billion naira within 2 weeks. They to need to refund, so they are looking for somebody to. You get, you owe me money and you must pay. They will tell them, "Is your money?" A senator. Let's go to sports.
It's a big sign for Guzo to drag sports minister to court, says AFN, that's the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. Warns stakeholders against illegal body. Sports page of the Guardian on Saturday.
Peter Rufai, best Eagles keeper of my era, says Dosu. And we also have Awoni laments Eagles snub. Also on the sports page, you have Nigerian basketballer dies of heart attack in Serbia. So that's over there.
Yeah, that's a Michael Oluyole, ex-D Tigers player.
Very painful.
Dies in Serbia.
Very, very painful.
Says MBBF mourns. And Joshua's fight with Fury faces new hurdle. What's that all about? We face a mandatory defense against Dillian White. The WC confirmed this. And then also Fury defeated Wilder in February this year, with the pair set for another high-profile bout in December.
Well, federal government has eased a ban on outdoor sports in Nigeria, which means you might see the comeback of some major outdoor sports across the federation. Nigerian stars set for action against as Belgian league returns. You have Kante, Loftus, cheek fit for Bayern, says Lampard. Osime, I want to emulate Maradona at Napoli. Just don't end like Maradona. That's the most important. For those who are looking for the scoreline about yesterday, don't worry. Wait for Mary. It was interesting yesterday. Juve out, Real Madrid out. Okay. And then those who have been wondering why I say I would not be shouting what will happen on Saturday. Some teams we play today. That's why. Okay. So, but then of course, let's keep that for the sports program. Just right after this particular program today, just right after a conversation with Tola, you have Mary take you through the sports world. So stay tuned to us. Time check 6:47 a.m. Destination time 7:30 a.m. It's the conversation with Dayo and Tola, coming to you live from Oluyole 98.5 FM. We go straight to details. Details from the newspapers we're holding. You want to fire the first shot?
Trouble looming in the oil sector, and it says that 4 crisis looms again. That's as ex-depot price of 130.62 kobo, not friendly. That's the marketers and telling NNPC. An investment in the pump price to remain uncertain without proper regulation, experts insist, and federal government keeps mum. Now, what appeared like a strategic decision earlier in the year, when the federal government opted for deregulation of the downstream petroleum sector and insisted on price modulation for premium motor spirit, PMS or petrol, seems to have been left in limbo as the price remains uncertain. Currently, marketers are divided across the state or associations as to the most appropriate price for the product, with most selling between 150 naira and 160 naira per litre, depending on the state. Marketers in Abuja sold around 150 naira, while those in Kebbi State sold at 155 naira, with some 4 stations already shutting down. In March this year, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, stated that the government would modulate the pump monthly using market realities, adding that the move signaled the end of subsidy regime. Meanwhile, the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency, PPPRA, which is responsible for modulating the price, had issued a monthly guideline from March to July, but reportedly failed to provide the guideline for August, leaving some marketers to effect changes indiscriminately. Full price Nigerians fear for that hike, scarcity, and that's the federal government keeping quiet over the current situation. Well, I think The reason the federal government is keeping aloof in the current unfolding scenario regarding the pump price of petrol is that if there were to be an enforcement of the FG's recommendations, the marketers would simply close up their retail outlets, and then we have another fuel crisis on our hands. Something I could say the federal government and Nigeria cannot afford at this point in time. I mean, 2 major elections are coming up, and aside this, I think the government already knows how tensed up Nigerians are at this time. So they rather not ignite a fuse. Then, looking at it from another perspective, it might also be a strategy to weigh in on the typical resilience of an average Nigerian. Look, let's do this thing without any noise and make sure the fuel is available, and so long as it's available, Nigerians will only grumble. They will still go ahead and buy without any trouble. What I'm getting at here is the possibility of a well thought out behind the scenes agreement between the federal government and the marketers, other stakeholders, and even the leadership of organized labor towards perhaps a relative fixed hike, a minimum of this, a maximum of that, depending on the discretion of each marketer or dealer. And then we arrive at something. But whatever the case may be, I think there is still a need for all stakeholders to sit down at a round table. I think not only is a fuel crisis undesirable at this time, I also think it's an old-fashioned way of doing things, inflicting hardship on Nigerians back and forth. At the end of the day, the same hike still sails through. Whatever it's going to be, let's all agree, carry the organized labor along, carry every stakeholder along, and let's know where exactly we are going on all this.
Well, I think the truth is, Tola, if we want to be sincere with ourselves, we'll keep having this discussion until we start refining as much fuel as we need in the country. That's the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. If we are still importing, import dependent, for especially PMS, this will continue to happen. And I saw that traffic. I said, may we never go back to that era. You have to go and sleep in the filling station. But the way these guys are talking, the independent marketers, it might eventually happen. It's inevitable. If DPR decides to crack down on them based on the disparity in prices, you can't help it. Up north, some states are already selling 160. Down south here, 148 to 150, depending on how well they have been able to, adjust their, dispensing machine. So some can even say 145. They've adjusted it. They know what they are doing. Okay, so but if DPR decides to just go crack down, I was trying to avoid that word yesterday. If they use the word crack down and crack down on them, those guys will retaliate. And they have their ways of doing it. They will shut down during the day, cause scarcity in a few places that will sell, and then sell at night at their black market prices when they know DPR will not come out against them. We cannot afford this, not at this moment.
So the elections in
exactly. We can avoid it. I think at this point, DPR just needs to sit down with these guys and negotiate. The truth is, Tola, if we want to be sincere with ourselves, there will be disparity in prices. A trader that will come from Sokoto to come and pick fuel in Lagos will not sell at the same amount as a filling station that will just go how many kilometers in the same Lagos, or coming to Ibadan even has a depot anyway. So what are we saying? Okay, so there will be disparity. Let's just face it.
That's where we are going.
That's it. So let's just face it, there will be disparity, but how can we ensure that it does not go out of hand, that disparity does not enter? Because if you give them 1 mile, they can go 10 miles and say, after all, we are allowed to sell at whatever, so we start selling 180, and they will agree amongst themselves, nobody should sell below this amount, and we'll be forced to buy at that. But if we want to be sincere with ourselves, the only solution to all of this is that we start refining. I'm wondering, when Mele Kyari came in as group managing director of NNPC, it was all pomp and pageantry. We will fix the refinery. I was laughing when some people said, no, this guy means well. I said, in Nigeria.
What's the jinx? What's the jinx with the refineries? What's the jinx?
I think until we can open the books, nothing will happen in NNPC. That's the truth. They will continue to declare. NLNG is making money now. Oil and gas, NLNGs. I'm here to see or hear NLNG declare loss like NNPC is declaring. Some people are there, they just want to continue to collect salary and they don't want to go. Okay, so and as long as they are there, the NNPC GMD will play ball. He has no choice. They will frustrate him. The last time we went to, I think, the Kaduna refinery, and he was walking around, they were taking pictures. Yes, things will change. He has been there now. The best he could do was publish one audited report. What came of it? What's the point of auditing if you don't take action on the laxities reviewed by the audit report? Okay, so until we are willing, until we have somebody who will damn all consequences and say that's it, let's probe NNPC. Until that day, this will continue.
Now,
so
what about that mega refinery being planned?
The Dangote refinery. I want to assume it's COVID-19 that is stopping work.
It seems that would have made a lot of difference.
His fertilizer plant should be up by now, and I mean, let's say maybe 2021, because COVID-19 will stop a lot of things. So, well, let's see how that runs.
How much difference that would make?
No, I mean, if the refinery comes up steam, it should be able to at least meet Nigeria's, demand, and probably some countries in West Africa, according to what we've heard about the place. But then again, what a lot of people might want to shy away from talking about monopoly. Hey, if you, I mean, there's a short document. Okay, it's not short; it's in series about America. People, in fact, the title is "The Men Who Built America." I'm talking about the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts. These guys monopolized certain sections of the economy. They monopolized it,
and their descendants still determine how things run.
That's it. So, except we want to go that way, where some individuals would decide. I mean, if Dangote supplies the fuel that Tola and Dayo buys, he can tell you we are selling at 200 naira. This month, we have no choice.
Honestly, if those individuals mean well, I would say, honestly,
they should go ahead.
Honestly, what are the options? Sincerely,
clearly, the state-owned refineries, government-owned refineries, will most likely not work. I think we must by now have come to that realization. There's almost nothing we can do about it. All right, let's do some politics. Edo crisis. Pro-APC lawmakers list Obaseki's sins in letter to Malami. You wonder what his sins could be. Who did he offend in the first instance? Well, here we go. The 14 elected members of the Edo State House of Assembly were not sworn in since the inauguration of the Assembly in 2019 have written to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN, highlighting the alleged infractions of Governor Godwin Obaseki. The members, joined by 3 members from the faction already sworn in, wrote through their counsel, Dr. Yoge West Idaosa of West Idaosa & Co., saying the governor's action in not allowing them to be sworn in was unconstitutional. This, they said, underlined the disequilibrium in the political stability of the state and the resultant insecurity that had characterized the state. In their letter, which was obtained by the Punch newspaper, 17 aggrieved lawmakers said to be loyal to a former national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, said contrary to the standard practice of inaugurating the House with possibly all members present, the governor on June 17, 2019 chose to inaugurate the House at odd hours with only about 9 members in attendance. They alleged that the agents of the governor prevented them from attending the inauguration, noting that they had done everything possible to remedy the situation, but to no avail till date. The letter, titled Urgent and Nationalistic Appeal to Intervene in the Restoration of Constitutional Democracy in Edo State of Nigeria, dated August 3, 2020. August 3. That's way before, Okay. How they secured AGF's backing within 24 hours. A sequel to receiving their letter on Tuesday, August 4, Malami wrote the police IG within 24 hours, directing him to provide security for the inauguration of the 14 members, which took place at an unknown location on Thursday. The Assembly's Deputy Clerk, Mr. Tom Efezokae, administered the oath of office on the members. He, however, cautioned that the members already sworn in should not be prevented from discharging their duties. The AGS letter obtained by Saturday Punch on Friday revealed that he, the minister, received a letter from West Idaosa and Co. on August 4, 2020, wrote the IG in a letter dated August 5, directing him to provide security for the exercise while the inauguration took place on August the 6th. Governor is saying, I won't recognize factional speaker, says Obaseki, attacks Ganduje. Meanwhile, following Izeyamu's visit to the president, Major General Momodu retired at the presidential filial on Friday. Obaseki has said he is not worried by the endorsement of the APC candidate by the president. Obaseki, who spoke with one of the correspondents on Friday, said the president, as the leader of the APC, was free to support his party's candidate. He said, I cannot speak for the president. He's a due process man. He strikes me as somebody who wants the process to follow his due course. The president is a member of the APC. Why would he not receive his party's candidate? The governor said he would not recognize the 17 lawmakers, describing the AG's directive to the IGP as illegal and a recipe for anarchy. How can I recognize them? There's a law we have to follow. Otherwise, we will have to be like a banana republic, he added. The Jagaban of Lagos has responded. He has weighed in. He said, Edo governor, ignorant of constitutional order. Tinubu. In his reaction to recent developments in the House of Assembly in the state, the national leader of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on Friday accused Obaseki, who is also the PDP candidate in the forthcoming election, of being ignorant of Nigeria's constitutional order. Tinubu, in a statement titled "In Defense of Constitutional Democracy," accused the governor of blocking access to the assembly complex under the guise of renovation, adding that the refusal to allow the House of Assembly function was a cowardly act and a move to thwart representative democracy in the state. APC must avoid Zamfara and Rivers experiences in Edo, says Buhari. The president, however, told APC leaders on Friday that the party must avoid the pitfalls which affected it in the Rivers, Zamfara and Bayelsa elections during the Edo governorship poll. This is serious.
While it seems to get messier and messier, but I think in the long run, where the judiciary stands on all this would be what matters at the end of it all. Now, we see this headline saying a sitting of Edo Assembly outside premises is nullity, and that's coming from Abe Mohammed SAN, and the fact that President Buhari is warning against the Rivers and Zamfara experiences, well, might be a signal that maybe the president is trying to stand on the side of due process. However, that may be defined in this context, in this present unfolding scenario. That's talking about the issue of the members of the House who have suddenly found their voices again after what seemed like a law. Well, Malami, of course, is coming up again in all this.
I think we are gradually seeing the face of the cabal. Someone writes a letter and orders IG. Who is in charge in this country, actually? You know, when I see things like that, I ask myself, who runs? You know, and this is not about any party in APC or PDP. I'm not concerned. Seriously, I'm not. I don't want to talk about it because, trust me, by the time we open the phone line, some people will want to be on one side, some want to. This is not the issue here. My question is, who is actually running this country? You got a letter from a lawyer, a private lawyer in the state, expressing his opinion about something that a case that is in court, and you are the Attorney General. In fact, cases that are in court, about 3 court cases are in court about that issue, and you took your pen and you wrote to the IG
to provide cover for the 14 lawmakers to sit.
By the way, I mean, it's important people also know that even amongst them in the APC, they are not. I mean, I'm sorry, it's about party now, but I'm just reporting what's in the newspaper. There's even dissent, because this story is also here. I'm just going to take it alongside. Oluyole has hijacked Izeyamu's campaign, APC Governors Forum, which means those guys who pushed out Oluyole, they have not left his case, and they are still members of APC, and they are not just watching. They will most likely be playing an active role in the coming elections. This story is here. The Progressive Governors Forum, which is APC Governors Forum, accused a former national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Adams Oluyole, of usurping the campaign of the party's candidate in the September 19 Edo State governorship election, Osage Izeyamu. The umbrella body of all APC governors, in a statement titled Progressive Politics, Which Way APC, by its Director General, Dr. Salihu Lukman, raised the alarm over what it described as the diminishing electoral value of the All Progressive Congress. Lukman expressed sadness that the dissolution of the Adams Oshiomhole-led National Working Committee of the APC had not solved the party's diminishing electoral viability. On the forthcoming elections in Edo and Ondo states, the PGF DG said efforts being made by the governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, to reconcile with aggrieved party members and leaders in Ondo were commendable. He, however, added that the reverse seemed to be the case in Edo State, saying rather than reconciliation, loud drums of war are taking over the airwaves in the state. Lukman stated, quote, Comrade Oshiomhole has relocated to Edo State and taken over the APC campaign, and the campaign is proceeding in a manner that suggests that Edo State governorship election is an extension of the personal battle between the governor, Mr. Gordon Obaseki, and Oshiomhole. He ended by saying the APC campaign is personalized around Comrade Oshiomhole, and the candidate of the party, Pastor Osage Izeyamo, is an onlooker. The soundbite from the Edo APC campaign is so offensive to the point where Comrade Oshiomhole appears to be disowning almost every APC member in Edo State between 2016 and now. Oshiomhole has hijacked Izeyamo's campaign, APC Governors Forum. So the battle is even more within than without.
But for the progressive governors, I mean, what should be the stakes? Is it about Oshiomhole hijacking a party, or about APC winning the elections, regardless of whatever role Oshiomhole is playing right now? And in any case, we have to be realistic. You cannot separate the personal battles, this battle between Oshiomhole and Obaseki, unless the governors are not being realistic. You cannot. There's no way you can take that personal battle out of this whole scenario, out of the bigger picture. And talking about the 14 lawmakers now, I wonder, why are the 14 lawmakers so pertinent in ascertaining where the pendulum swings at this time? Why the battle for the soul of the state assembly at this time? Or would it be about wanting to get Obaseki out of that seat?
Getting him out might just lead to their own legitimacy. I don't blame them, seriously. I might even want to support them a bit, really. In all fairness, these guys contested and won an election. Let's be sincere. They contested, they won, and now it's about inaugurating them to do their job, which means their constituencies have lacked representation in over a year. That's not right. No, let's face it, that is not right. Okay, so yes, the governor has his own issues in that area. They are face off, they have their issues, and that should be solved. But then clearly, this is not even about them. This is about somebody wanting to get back at the governor. He went to pick a retired deputy clerk. In fact, there was a particular headline yesterday. I just have not seen it. I might have taken it. Students of Auchi Polytechnic claiming that they should return their maize. Yes. So I mean, when things like this begin to happen, you begin to wonder, who is arranging all these things? And but that aside, those guys deserve an opportunity to represent their people. Let's face it. Let's speak truth to power. They deserve an opportunity to represent their people. Unfortunately, they themselves went to courts to institute cases, and they have resorted to self-help, which the court will most likely frown against. And the Attorney General, who should know better.
That is what Buhari is warning against.
No, Buhari will warn them now, except he's deceiving himself. Tola. No, let's face it. By the time these cases get to court, even if their man wins the election, this thing will come back to bite them. Because court will still hold though. The suit will still be called on the floor of the court. They will have their day in court. So eventually this Zamfara might come back to bite them. Even if let's assume they even win and all that, and they get their man there, all of them might eventually lose their seats.
Governor Obaseki, on sitting the governor at this time, what difference would it make? PDP and Governor Wike of Rivers State is warning against what they call a plot to remove Governor Obaseki.
Well, Tola, I might be on that side. I don't believe they want to remove Obaseki. My opinion here. I don't believe that is the essence. I think they are trying to get the legislature on their side to ensure that if anything happens, if anything at all happens, they will be on the winning side. For example, exactly. For example, if they have to, do this, what do we call it now in Nigeria? This INEC way of shifting elections when you did not inconclusive. That's what I want to remember. And it's not hard to get inconclusive election in Nigeria. Really, Tola, we know how they do it. Just destroy the votes, cause trouble in plenty places, and when they get there, they say they cannot reconcile, and then inconclusive, and so they fix another date. The truth is, if this election comes up in September, a day later, it will affect the time that the governor is supposed to spend in the office. What will happen is what happened in, I think, Sokoto. The governor will have to hand over to somebody, and of course, if not the deputy, you know who it will be? The Speaker of the House of Assembly. And so when they are in power, you can decide.
the picture is gradually coming
that's
together.
It. So that's why I said I don't believe it's about removing Obaseki. He's almost gone now. So what do they stand to gain? It's not about him now. It's about positioning the right way. And I think the Obaseki camp to have seen, the hand, this voice officer. They've seen it. So it went to deposit gravel, and that does not. I think we need to make it clear here. We are not in any way endorsing anybody that they have done the right thing here. No. Tola and Dayo has not come out to say somebody is right. No, we will never do that. But just making it clear so that people can see what is going on. I think we should take one story as we open the phone line.
Aisha Buhari in Dubai for medical treatment. The wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, has been flown to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, UAE, for medical treatment. The first lady reportedly traveled out of the country last weekend due to persistent neck pain after returning to Abuja from Lagos, where she paid a condolence visit to Florence Ajimobi, widow of the late former governor of Oyo State, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, at their Global Road, Ikoyi, Lagos last month. Ajimobi died on June 25 due to complications from coronavirus disease, COVID-19. The first lady was said to have undergone self-isolation for 14 days after the Lagos trip, following the neck pain that refused to stop for close to 1 month. After the condolence visit, ends the decision to fly abroad for further medical treatment. Aisha Buhari in Dubai for medical treatment.
Well, we want the AGIAs to comment about that. What you go to doing the AGIA Gbomojos and the likes. Aisha Buhari is in Dubai for treatment. 08055009850. We did not say anything. We just reported what we saw. 08055009850. Your comments. So immediately after lockdown, somebody's already enjoying the car. Somebody's here, our first caller.
Hello, good morning. Hello,
you're on. Hello. Seems the network. We lost that. Please do well to call back. 08055009850. That's the number to join the discussion in the studio. Ladiola here on Twitter. Okay, let me start with Twitter today. At Ladiola007 saying Edo people should not be carried away with the political comedy going on in the state. They should shine their face and vote wisely, not to fall into the wrong hand for the next 4 years. Good morning. Thank you, Ladiola. Right there on Twitter. At Olakunle _Don is also talking here. He said increment in hate speech charge. Lai Mohammed is the author of destabilization. That's your opinion. No? He should be the first to pay the money. Okay, that's where you're going. Now I see. Someone is here.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Mr. Haruna, good morning.
This is Haruna from Odoro, Ogbomoso.
We greet you. Good morning.
Mr. Dianchi, good morning this morning once again.
Good morning, Mr. Haruna.
Honestly speaking, let me start by saying that I'm not happy this morning.
Yeah.
Why? Because Juventus, my Ronaldo is in Juventus.
Yeah, sorry.
He's out of this year champions. He scored twice yesterday, no problem. I want to comment on Aisha Buhari going to Dubai for neck treatment. I would like to also follow you and Dayo. You and Tola and Dayo to Dubai also. We are not going for treatment, we are going for enjoyment.
Okay. Thank you for being sincere. He did say treatment. He confirmed he is going for enjoyment. I like Aruna for that. Someone else is here.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Mr. Tola, good morning, sir.
Morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
This is Shola from Okata.
Oh, nice to have you. Please go ahead, Mr. Shola.
Thank you. Please, I want to say something about this petroleum industry.
Okay.
I don't know Nigerian government system. I don't know our government. I don't know. Because if Nigerian government should say good morning, it is very important for someone to go and check his window outside if it's truly morning or night. Look at the past president and our past leaders of so-called presidents that have been coming. There's no one or two of them that will not have issue of petrol increase. Are they having their own share, personal share? Because if you should get money and do something once in a while and you fix it, there won't be any problem. There will be more years to come. But constantly, we have Buhari doubles against of petroleum. It's no good evidence, no good things to show like it to Nigerians. We are still suffering.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ishola from Okaka. The phone line is open 550-09850. That's the number to join the discussion in this studio. Seems someone else is here.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning,
Good morning,
sir.
sir.
Hello, Mr. Caleb from New Road.
Okay, nice to have you, Mr. Caleb. Go ahead briefly.
The National Emergency Agency said that the 28 states and 102 local governments risk being flooded because of imminent heavy rainfall. I talked to the people that did their house along the river side to look for the alternative. Because those people have witnessed the flood disaster of 1980 and that of 2011. Pray that one for his enemy. Secondly, I want to wish our madam Aisha Buhari on his travel to United Arab Emirates. I wish I could recovery and give it on. Thank you.
All right. So somebody is saying that she has a boni king for Adriana. People will not. Don't worry, I'll forgive you. I'll not mention your name.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning. Okay, Mr. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, treatment for next and for our phase 3. I wish her quick recovery. And we poor also have the wherewithal to go to Dubai for our own treatment. Dayo and Tola, the second point is this. Another fuel hike Nigeria. Must Nigerians be economically strangulated or emasculated before our rulers know what we are suffering? Rulers come and go in Nigeria, and there has not been any functional refinery in Nigeria since the discovery of oil in 1956. Now, wow! Finally, sir, on Edo politics, I think the current governor got everything wrong from the beginning. Why did he swear in some members and refuse to swear in others? On the house of other members of the House of Assembly there. I hope here that the hand of Esau is not at work in terms of Somali's participation in this problem. If time is not taken, I am not an apostle of doom, but a state of emergency may be declared in that state. The election may be bloody. And what even pains me most is, surprisingly, I have never seen any member of the families of Obaseki or their children on the tune of Israel campaign. Is it the way it should be? Put people in forefront, and at the end of the day, their families will come to job. It's now a do or die affair, and not the way Obasanjo once said it. Thank you very much, God bless.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chris, all the way from Kenya. Really appreciate your call. The phone line is still open 08055009850. Someone else is here.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good evening.
Morning, sir.
My name is Honorable Salami Abiodun Usman
Nice to have
from
you.
Oje.
Nice to have you, sir.
On the issue of what is going on in Edo State, when Obaseki when there's a political problem, we look for a political solution to it. As a sitting governor, what authority needs to do at the beginning is that to make sure that you sworn in all the assembly members. Whether they belong to Oshuamale, whether they don't belong to Oshuamale, you must make sure that as a sitting governor, you must make sure that you swear them in. After that, we now look for a way of manipulating whatever you want to manipulate politically and get his own speaker to his own side. But now, what is happening in Edo State is constitutional. What Malami did, there's nothing wrong in it. But because everybody kept quiet, it's almost more than a year now. Nobody said anything. But now that the Malami wrote IG, people now begin to say, why Malami wrote IG within 24 hours, within this, within that. And you know what is happening in our judiciary system. The case may be in court for more than 3, 4, 5 years. And the people of that constituency where those guys comes from, they will be negated. And they have already cast their vote for these guys. So there's nothing wrong in what Malami did as far as that is concerned. That is on that. On the issue of petroleum, the government should come out to tell us if they have removed the subsidy Gabadaya, fine. Let us know. If they have not removed the subsidy, let us know the particular amount that we are going to buy this fuel. Because these people are hiding on inconsistency in the policy. And the price are stealing our money, whether we like it or not. I may not call it, I don't want to call it stealing. But under the guise of no stable price, people are now reducing their meter and taking away our money indirectly. And again, you as a journalist, you should be able to tell us what is happening at the depot where the fuel is coming from. How much from the people that brought it to the country to the depot, from the depot to these people that will sell to us. Thank you. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. If you have been listening to us, we report that the amount that it reaches the depot, as long as it's in the newspaper, we always report that. And you also mentioned that Attorney General. I said, Attorney General that has powers that can take over any case. He does not have a problem with time of case. He knows what he's doing. So let's not support impunity. Let's not support it. Honorable, thank you. Someone else is here.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
This is Dayo from Okeo.
Oh, nice to have you, sir.
Your dear friend.
Thank you, sir.
In Nigeria, let the oppressors continue to oppress. Let the wicked continue to be wicked. Let the troublers of this nation continue to trouble us. God is the impartial judge. He is around the corner. He will soon descend on all and give to every individual according to his deeds. Going overseas because of health challenges, only to leave the poor in Nigeria to continue to die like chickens. Let people know that God is a leveler. He levels everybody, whether high or low, whether rich or not rich, whether powerful or weak. God is a leveler. There is death even in Dubai. There is death in US. There is death everywhere. No matter where anybody runs to for health care, death is there, except the time for the death of our individual has not come. So let our powerful people, our rulers, take note. Death is everywhere. No matter where they run to, leaving the poor to suffer. Death is everywhere. I remember a former powerful person, let me say, he went to overseas for treatment. He died there and he was brought home. His corpse was brought home. And when on transport to the burial place, the aircraft developed problems and it crashed. And the death still caused the death of some other people. Wow. So God is impartial and it's a leveler. Let everybody take note of that. Thank you. God bless you. Dayo from Okeo.
Nice to have you. Thank you so much for your comment. Wow, that's what we like for dead body.
Well, no matter what, we pray for this for the first day, the safe return.
Exactly. That's the most important thing. Let's not but we wish her the very best. Quick healing, safe, sound health, and that she returns to us safe and sound. Matthew Olalire on Facebook saying good morning, Mr. Dan. D&T, federal government should do something urgent as regards for pump price increase. Happy weekend to you guys. Leke Ajobi, we say good morning, Mrs. Diane Tola. Happy World Card Day. These Edo political gladiators, there's something else. It's now clear that they are fighting for their pockets, not for the welfare of the masses. Hoba Halade saying good morning, Mr. Dayantola. The Lord is your strength, amen. Thank you. Bayomi Akinshola Oladeji is also here saying morning. PMB said he's fighting corruption and still went ahead to endorse a criminal. He's not yet a criminal. He has a case in court, a 700 million naira corruption case in court. That's Pastor Osage Yamu. The case is still in court. That's not been decided, so it is wrong to call him a criminal, sir. He said, but he's saying who is fooling who? Well, I'm looking to see my GSM and Professor Baba Gana Zulum teaming together for a better governance in Nigeria. Okay. Team GSM, thank you. John Brown from Ogbomoso. Okay, Adiola Sunday saying good morning. Since the product has been deregulated with no subsidy price, we should expect that the solution is for us to refine our crude here in Nigeria. On Aisha Buhari, God will heal her. Thank you. Alagbe John Adetunji, good morning, Mr. DNT. We have not seen positive changes on the part of the so-called progressives in power since 2015. What we are witnessing, insecurity, increase in pump price, corruption, unemployment. Where is the change? Well, you asked those who promised it. Can we pick one or two more calls before we go?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Nice to have you, Prince. Been a while.
Now, I want to briefly comment on the crisis that is currently going in Edo State. Then I want to advise the Minister of Justice, Malame, to please, for the sake of this country, you shouldn't constitute any illegal law. Look at what is happening in Edo State now. Let me give you an insight. So a couple of months ago, this crisis, it is this Malami that caused mayhem in Edo State. The crisis between the AG board and the state government. If you can remember, it was this same Malami that other IGPs from about and other commissioner of police to allow the suspended AG chairman to review work. If not because of the time we got of the problem in the State, it is only God that can see the end of that crisis. I want to advise him. We should not consider any illegal law that will bring mayhem and confusion to the people. Edo State, then on the coming election in Edo State, I want to advise about safety because what APC will do is this. The election in Edo will end up in inconclusive, which will allow the APC government to rig the election. Wow. That's my comment.
All right. Thank you so much, Prince. From Lola Adewale, good morning, Mr. and happy weekend to you guys. I'm thinking about something far. Our leaders need to be recruited. Okay, new leaders. Okay, it is that we can have an ideal state. The problem of a state is that it is not in the hand of those who know how to rule. How to rule it, says Plato. God will heal our land. From Ogbomoso. Oh, Adia is here. From Ogbomoso, he said, Adia Ogbomojo is saying, good morning, Mr. Dayantola. We always tell them we have the capacity to refine our own crude oil in Nigeria. They won't listen. Till Bass goes, okay. Mr. Orogbade Oro, thank you for honor. We, the special advisor to Mr. Dayo and Mr. Tola conversation, we are all going to Dubai to celebrate this Oyetutu. Aisha Buhari get well soon. No, okay, all right. Oluwase Okikiola Okanlawon say, Mr. D&T, money is good though. You know, you go to Dubai to treat neck pain. Too sure, thank you. Sheye Adeleke, Sheye Electronics. He said, morning guys, a leopard cannot change his skin. Once a labor leader is always a labor leader. I hope Oshiomole won't turn Edo to a war zone. He's beginning to act as a trade unionist. He's one now. Ilyas Agoro, Mr. D&T, may God always be your strength. Federal government should quickly look into the issue of pump price. Okay, thank you so much. People are already fighting for ticket to go to Dubai. Okay, I can see the debate ongoing on our Facebook page. We take one call before we go today.
Hello, good morning.
Who's our last caller? Oh, we lost our call. Someone else is here.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Monsieur.
Thank you. I thank those that talk about Edo election.
Okay.
But my fight to the people in Edo State is that they should not vote for party. They should vote for people that they make use of. I don't know how to put it, Gary, but they should not vote for party. They should vote for president that's good.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I will really appreciate that, Yam. So I'm sure you two would like to go to Dubai. Mary is here. Okay, let's even start that way. Okay, you see, it's happening now. Okay, so
in Dubai.
Correct.
Just imagine Manchester United winning the Europa League like this.
It's good. You don't want to go. You want to go with Man U. Or you want to go on your own?
I don't care. It's Dubai.
That's the one you can take on the show today. All right, Mary is here. You can hear her voice already. All right. Why the Dubai trip? It can happen. Tola, it can happen. It can happen.
Where there's a way, there's always.
All right. Till Monday, when we come your way. Okay. On Sunday tomorrow, we'll be on TV. 7 p.m. mid news. Okay. It's called People's Parliament. You see Tola and I again on TV. We hand over to Mary. Spot tidbits. Okay, Dubai. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
Beautiful morning to you right here from Oluyole 98.5 FM right in the city of Ibadan. Always a pleasure having you with us. Definitely once again, time to talk sports. You do know when you hear that sick tune, well, Mary is in the building. Time to give you all the latest in the world of sports. Well, for last night, as far as it goes in the UEFA Champions League, I can tell you categorically that Juventus are out of the UEFA Champions League. Also, Real Madrid, the La Liga champions, are also out of the UEFA Champions League for the 2019-2020 season. Well, definitely all that details right here for you. A special welcome to everyone joining us from Agility FM 92.1, Okogun FM 96.3, on the website, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We're saying welcome to the show. My name is Mary Akinshola. Let's get straight to business. Yes, last night was a whole mixed mash of emotions. At some point, someone said, Juventus won, they drew, and they also lost all at the same time. I'm sure someone is wondering, how exactly is that even possible? How do you win? How do you lose and you also draw at the same time? Well, let me quickly explain that one to you. Well, of course, the scoreline at the end of the game yesterday was 2-1. Yes, Juventus, of course, won. Cristiano Ronaldo brace. Yes, 2-1. They won. How did they draw? On aggregate, Juventus, if you would write it out on aggregate, you would see Lyon, they won the first leg by 1-0. Juventus won the second one by 2-1. So on aggregate, it is 2-2. It's a draw. How did they lose? Away goals rule comes in here now. Juventus scored a goal away from home, so that goal counts for 2. That's the UEFA Champions League tradition. Everyone is familiar with it. So in one single night, Juventus won, they lost, and they also drew. Well, cool one right there, if you'd ask me. But sure, for the other game last night had to be Sergio Ramos. He was behind the touchlines. That was for Real Madrid when they took on Manchester City. And so many England fans were vexed at him. That was for the gesticulation and all of that he brought to the game yesterday. But it just wasn't enough for Rafael Varane. I'm sure Varane is going to have lots and lots of sleepless nights when he thinks about last night. Well, Gabriel Jesus and also Raheem Sterling got the job done. 2 goals in the bag saga for Manchester City. Karim Benzema got the lone goal for Real Madrid. But at the end of the day, 4 goals to 2 on aggregator, Real Madrid are out of the Champions League. Well, quick one, guys. Manchester City, they are in the Champions League. But then if you look at the winners of the leagues in Europe, let's say the top 4 leagues in Europe for this season, Liverpool are out of the Champions League. Real Madrid are out of the Champions League. Also, Juventus are out of the Champions League, and you just have left Bayern Munich. And of course, Bayern Munich tonight, they will be coming up against Chelsea. Don't forget that they lead that tie by 3 goals to 0. So many people would expect that nothing should stop them from making it to the next round. But then let's talk about the Juventus saga before we go further. Now, for me, I think Juventus last night, they played like the Juventus we know. That's the Juventus that has been uninspiring, the Juventus that looks like they do not even understand what exactly they are playing for. If I think yesterday on Sports Updates, I talked about the fact that individual brilliance could be what could probably get Juventus way past the line yesterday. But then if you look at that game, Paulo Dybala wasn't in the game. Of course, he had an injury. That's for those asking. Mauricio Sarri did not just intentionally bench him. He had an injury, so he could only come in for a short period of time. Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, was in the game. He scored 2 goals in that game. But then you can't take away how it's been terrible for Juventus. But if you're saving knocks now, if you would hand out knocks to the players who did not rise up to the occasion, if you would hand out knocks to Mauricio Sarri, the coach, who also looks like he doesn't understand how to fuse this team together to get a super team, you should also hand out some knocks to the management now. Let me say the owners, the controllers of the Juventus football team. Sincerely, Juventus were an interesting team. They've been an inspiring team. Go back to 2017 when they make it to the Champions League finals where they lost to Real Madrid. Do not forget that this was a team that had in the middle some of the best of the best. Since Paul Pogba left the middle for Juventus, they were left. It's been like there has been no real replacement. Talking about the middle of the park for Juventus, because for me, I think that's where all the trouble stems from for Juventus. What exactly is happening to the middle of the park? Some people are saying that the job for Mauricio Sarri might be under threat now. Some people are saying that this might be the time for him to go. But then if you look at the stats, you might also say probably Mauricio Sarri should just run along at this point in time. He had he won the Serie A, but then he was runners-up in the Coppa Italia. Also in the Supercoppa Italiana, it was also runners-up. In the Champions League, he got knocked out in the round of 16. Probably this is the time to say he should go. But then the management also did not do their job. Since the midfield of they had Paul Pogba, they had Arturo Vidal, they had Ander Pello, and also Marquisio in there. All those guys were out of the game, and no one could rise up to the occasion in that middle. So there's a whole lot to talk about. There's a whole lot of knocks to spread out. If you're saying, oh, let's dish out knocks at this point in time, but I think for Juventus, we'll get to see where they go next from here, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be interesting. Okay, straight to some sporting stories. Well, Formula One, do not forget that for this weekend, we will be having the 70th anniversary of Formula One, and that will be happening at Silverstone. Yesterday, we had practice sessions where Valtteri Bottas, who just signed a new contract with Mercedes, he led one of those practice sessions. For the other practice sessions, Lewis Hamilton came out guns blazing. Lewis Hamilton hasn't signed a new contract yet, for those asking. Well, yesterday, when he was talking to newsmen, he said that if he was awkward talking about a new contract where he's going to be getting a whole lot of money when there are lots of people out there who are losing jobs, but then sooner than later he will have to come to the reality that he needs to sign a new contract. Also, development from Formula One yesterday, Racing Point were deducted 15 points and also fined $400,000 pounds. Now that was after Renault won their protest over the team's 2020 car. Renault went to the stewards, told the stewards that Racing Point used a car that had an unholistic brake duct, and then Racing Point said they did nothing of the sort. The stewards investigated and decided that actually Racing Point did it. So as it stands now, they also have 24 hours to appeal. I'm yet to find out if they have appealed, but I will bring that to you subsequently. Also, let's talk about some stories from the US Open. Elena Svitolina and also Kiki Bertens have pulled out of the US Open. Don't forget that the US Open will be starting by the 31st of August. So many big names have said they are not interested because of the rising number of coronavirus crisis in the United States. But as this stands, we're sure that one man, that's Novak Djokovic, he will be at the US Open. Serena Williams will be at the US Open. Bianca Andreescu, who is the defending champion for the women's title, might not be at the US Open. She hasn't declared yet. Simona Halep hasn't declared yet. Rafael Nadal has said he's not going to the US Open. So for men's tennis, for US Open as it stands now, that is the situation of things. Okay, let's go to some football stories where Anambra FA quagmire alongside the NFF. That drama is still unfolding right now. As of last night, the LMC sent a mail where they announced that they have released the final table for the season. I think yesterday on Sports Update, we were still talking about the fact that the NFF has not released the final table for the season, but now the NFF has released the final table for the season. And just like everyone feared, yes, at the end of the day, it ended just like so many people thought. Enyimba are actually second on the table and Lyon are third on the table. That's for the final table for the season. So for the question of who is going where for the CAF Champions League and also the CAF Confederations Cup for the season, well, let me tell you that Plateau United and Enyimba will be going to the CAF Champions League, while CAF Confederations Cup will be seeing Rivers United and also Kano Pillars, who were the winners of the last ITO Cup we had. So some people are saying that probably Rivers United might be going to court to contest that final table. That's the final table that was released by the LMC yesterday. But we'll get to see how that one will turn out in the coming days. But then the talk also is about the fact that NFF says they are broke at this point in time. But then a whole lot of money, after calculations, you find out that they have about 800 million naira in their coffers. So you would want to wonder how people who have that much should be saying that they are broke. Well, NFF says today they will be talking about how they will be sharing the money they have. So we'll wait till the end of the day to see how they want to share the money, and we'll move on from there. Okay, straight to some NNL stories now. The governor of your state, Engineer Oluyole, has set a promotion target for the management of the Shooting Star Sports Club ahead of the 2020-2021 Nigeria National League, which will be commencing later this year. Now, speaking through the State Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Asiwaju Fakorede, Governor Makinde said that 3S's teaming fans and also sports-loving people of your state expect nothing short of promotion to the elite of the Nigeria League from the Oluyole Warriors. The Sports Commissioner was speaking for the governor at a send-forth ceremony held for 4 retiring personnel of the club at its Jericho Ibadan house. Now, Asiwaju Fakorede stated that the send-forth was put together to appreciate and reward those who gave their all for the development and also for the glory of 3S. Okay, now talking about the resumption of sport here in Nigeria, the federal government has now announced that it has lifted its ban on non-contact outdoor sports while also approving the use of recreational parks for physical exercise under strict supervision. Don't forget that the federal government in March placed a restriction on all sporting activities, but for recreational parks, communal sports restrictions are removed, and also on outdoor communal non-contact sports, and also the use of recreational parks for supervised physical exercise. For other outdoor non-contact sports that include tennis, table tennis, squash, badminton, cycling, athletics, golf, polo, para-athletics, cricket, and other non-outdoor communal activities, they say these ones are not yet certain. They're not yet certain, but they say they should contact the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports for further guidance. Don't forget that the LMC yesterday talked about if, of course, the ban on sporting activities are lifted, September, October would be the tentative date yet set now for the resumption of activities. That's talking about the Nigerian Professional Football League. Then they also are talking about the fact that they will also be resuming by September, October if the ban on sporting activities are lifted. Okay, straight now to the English Premier League, where the Liverpool trio of Jordan Henderson, Sadio Mane and also Trent Alexander-Arnold are among the 7 nominees for the 2019-2020 Premier League Player of the Season award. While other nominees for the award include Kevin De Bruyne of Manchester City, Danny Ings, 22 goals this season, definitely deserves to be in that talk. Of Southampton, Nick Pope of Burnley. Some people would ask, what did he do? Well, Nick Pope played all the Premier League matches for Burnley this season, and he also had 15 clean sheets, only second to Manchester City's Ederson. That's talking about goalkeeping position for this season, so he also deserves to be in that conversation. While the Golden Boot winner Jamie Vardy, 23 goals, also was nominated for the Player of the Year. Although some people are saying that Kevin De Bruyne is favourite to win this one, some people are also saying that it might just be Trent Alexander-Arnold. We'll get to see how that one will turn out. Talking about the Young Player of the Year, the nominees in here: Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Mason Greenwood, Jack Grealish, Trent Alexander-Arnold, also Dean Henderson, also Mason Mount and Christian Pulisic. Okay, let's talk about the Young Player of the Year award. Anthony Martial is going to be 25 next month, if I'm correct. Jack Grealish will be 25 by December, and you begin to wonder how these two men sneaked their way into a title that reads Young Player of the Year award. I mean, deserved. Trent Arnold, Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, Christian Pulisic, Mason Mount. Some people say that Arsenal's Bukayo Saka also deserve to be in that conversation, or even Gabriel Martinelli. I'm sure those on the panel say they disagree with them, but you would wonder how exactly Anthony Martial, who turns 25 in a few months, and also Jack Grealish, who will be 25 by December, got their names under the tag Young Player of the Year. Because if you would ask me, I think if you're 25, I don't think you're young anymore when it comes to football. If you say you're young in football, say you're 20, 21, 22, 25, it's quite far-reaching. But I guess these people think differently. Okay, let's talk about the Manager of the Season nominees now. Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp, Chelsea's Frank Lampard, Leicester City's Brendan Rodgers, and also Sheffield United's Chris Wilder. Well, for this one, some people are saying it's definitely going to be Jurgen Klopp. Well, I do not also disagree with them. I think it's basically going to be Jurgen Klopp. But then, the winners of this awards will be announced. That will be 10 a.m. on Thursday. That's August the 13th. So, by August the 13th, 10 a.m., we should be knowing who would be the pre-L Player of the Year, the PL Young Player of the Year, and also the PL Manager of the Year. And also, up for grabs is the PL Goal of the Season. Okay, still some football stories. Former Arsenal and also Manchester United striker Ruben Van Persie has returned to boyhood club Feyenoord. This is as a coach. Now, Van Persie had a final season as a player with the Dutch side in the 2018-2019 season, and he will now work under manager Dick Advocaat to help the forward. Now, the former Netherlands international said it's not an official position, so it's hard for him to give it a title. He described it as a win-win. He also added that he will find out whether he likes coaching, and he will also help the staff a bit. Now, Van Persie, who capped 102 times for his country, Netherlands, scored 35 goals in 98 Eredivisie appearances during his 2 spells at Feyenoord. Since his retirement as a player last year, he has been working in the media, that's in England. Straight back to the English Premier League, where Premier League clubs are now voted against continuing to allow 5 substitutions in a match for the 2020-2021 season. Don't forget that this rule was brought in during the 2019-2020 top flight that was restarted in June, having been altered for 3 months because of the coronavirus pandemic. But for next season, the league will revert to the 3 substitutions that has been permitted before. Now, the reason for this are also at the vote. Now, the clubs who were the smaller clubs have voted over overwhelmingly for 3 substitutions because, in their opinion, they feel that the bigger clubs have much more better players on the bench for substitution. So if they're bringing in 5 people to replace 5 people on the pitch, it looks like they have extra advantage. You look like a team like Manchester City, whose second team look like the first team of some other small club out there. So you wouldn't really blame the small clubs for voicing out their displeasure with bringing in 5 substitutions. So from the next season, talking about 2020-2021 season, Premier League will go back to talking about 3 substitutions per match. Also on the bench, they will go back to having only 7 substitutes. Also talking about the VAR, the referees will now be mandated to look at the pitch side monitors more for red cards, for yellow cards, also for penalty kicks. Of course, Europa League action will continue. That will be on Monday. Manchester United will play against Copenhagen. Inter Milan will be up against Bayer Leverkusen. On Tuesday, Wolverhampton Wanderers will try to get past Sevilla, and also Shakhtar Donetsk will be up against Basel. Well, don't forget that there is no home and away anymore in the UEFA Europa League and also the UEFA Champions League. The UEFA Europa League is happening in Germany. The UEFA Champions League is happening in Portugal. So, as it stands, on Monday, Germany, 2 different stadiums will be hosting Manchester United up against Copenhagen, and also Inter Milan up against Bayer Leverkusen. Kai Havertz and also Sergio Reguilon they are going to be 2 people the whole world will be looking at talking about the game against Inter Milan. Also, Antonio Conte has his hands full. How it turns out in that game determines how you would say Inter Milan featured as far as the season is concerned. There's a whole lot of talk of that. Tomorrow afternoon by 3 p.m. we'll give you the preview into the games for tomorrow. Well, don't forget that also tonight we will be having Chelsea going up against the Bayern Munich, and also Barcelona and Napoli will be up against each other talking about the UEFA Champions League. Well, this is the Modric and Take this morning. Sports Tidbits. Well, always a pleasure having you. Tomorrow afternoon 3 p.m. we'll bring you preview for the UEFA Europa League, and also we'll bring you review of how it went down for the Champions League. Until I come your way again, always support sports. My name is Mary Akinshala. Bye for now.
Best in news, sports and entertainment. We got everything you need and so much more, yeah.
98.5 FM Oluyole 98.5
John, I am afraid. Have you heard of coronavirus?
Yes, I have heard. But you can get it through contact with a person who may have the virus or live in an area with ongoing spread.
That is the problem. Before you know a person has it, you may have already gotten it.
That is why we must stop the spread.
How?
Do not shake anybody's hand and avoid touching people. Do not touch surfaces such as rails or stairs, public door handles, etc. In case you do, wash your hands properly with soap, use a sanitizer. Avoid crowded places and practice physical distancing at all times.
Physical distancing? What is that?
It means maintaining a 2-meter distance from the person nearest to you at all times. Most important, remember to wash your hands regularly with soap and under running water for at least 20 seconds, especially after blowing your nose, coughing or sneezing, going to the bathroom, or even before preparing and eating food. Avoid touching your eyes, nose and mouth with unwashed hands.
Thank you, my husband. I feel a lot better.
Now go and wash your hand with soap and under running water for at least 20 seconds so you will feel best. This message is brought to you by UNICEF Nigeria.
ewúrẹ́ wa bojú wò rere wọn ò rí lé èkó wọn ṣomi lójú bí egbére àgùntàn wa bojú wò dẹdẹ wọn ò rí lé rí mọ́ omi ojú wọn ń dà bí àgbàrá òjò ó bí àwa gbó kàkà kèké lóòótọ́ àmọ́ kòkòrò jágbádùn rẹ̀ kó dàgbà ó sì ní lẹ́nu òní ló pé ọdún kẹta tí bàbá wa Michael Àbáyọ̀mí Ọ̀ṣọ́ lọ sọ́dọ̀ olùgbàlà lọ sinmi lọ́jọ́ kẹjọ oṣù kẹjọ ọdún 2017 gbogbo bàtà bá rántí ìfẹ́ rẹ̀ lẹ́gbẹ́ sáwà ọmọ rẹ̀ lójú ń wá pé ṣé o ti yá a lọ ni ìfẹ́ tó ní síwá ò lẹ́gbẹ́ ìfẹ́ tá a fẹ́ ò lóǹkà àmọ́ ìfẹ́ olùgbàlà sí ọ̀pọ̀ ju tàwa ọmọ rẹ̀ lọ à ń ṣe ìrántí rẹ̀ lónìí gẹ́gẹ́ bá a ti ń ṣe lójoojúmọ́ títí títí láìla ọmọ ṣèrántí rẹ o bàbá dáadáa. bàbá adéwálé bàbá afọláṣadé bàbá abọ́láńlé bàbá ọlánrewájú. àwa ọmọ àti àwọn ọmọ tó fi sílẹ̀ ń ṣe léde lẹ́yìn rẹ o. àbáyọ̀mí ọ̀ṣọ́ o ọmọ ọba ń ta agbọ́rùn jagun ọmọ aláyé òde àfọ̀ṣẹ ọmọ àgbọ̀nwó bí ẹ̀ nígbọ̀n mi ọmọ agbọ́rùn jagun alógun mọ́dẹ̀yìn ọmọ wọn ní Ṣàgámù tó lógun títí tẹ́ èdè Ìjẹ̀bú Òde. máa sùn olùfẹ́ máa sinmi títí dọjọ́ àjíǹde tá a pàdé lẹ́sẹ̀ olùgbàlà.
We stay very much on to Oluyole FM 98.5. Please listen to this personal paid announcement. In loving memory of our dear father, Pa Joseph Adio Ogunshola Akinleye, who departed this world on 8 August 1975, 45 years ago, at the age of 71. We remember you today, I beg your pardon, at the age of 70. Remember you today and always. Sleep on daddy until we meet to part no more. May your gentle soul continue to rest in perfect peace. Announcer Adebayo Ishola Akinleye for children.
ní ìrántí ọdún mẹ́rìndínlọ́gbọ̀n iná líláyé wà iná ilé rọ̀jìrònà ọ̀dọ̀ rẹ láti wá ọ̀dọ̀ rẹ la ó padà sí. òní yìí ló pé ọdún mẹ́rìndínlọ́gbọ̀n tí ìyá wa ìyáàfin Ṣìfáù Àròǹkẹ́ Àwẹ̀rò Búsàrí ti agboolé ilé olúwo Toríọlá Màpó Ìbàdàn fi ayé òṣì ohun ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ yìí sílẹ̀. àwa fẹ́yìn ṣùgbọ́n àlà fẹ́yìn jù wá lọ. Àwẹ̀rò ìjì ọmọ ẹkùn súnre o olùkéde ìyáàfin Abímbọ́lá Rahim òṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì iléeṣẹ́ BCOS.
bàbá ìjàmbá ṣòlè ó lé tají o.
bíbó
abẹ́ẹ̀ tí gbọ́ pé gbogbo tolórí tẹlẹ́mù ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló ti fẹnu kò pé ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ti gbogbo wa ní lílẹ̀ Yorùbá. èmi àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ẹ̀yin náà àmọ̀tẹ́kùn.
èmi náà ti gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ pé náà ti gbórí ilé fẹ́jú oró tí ń fọ mọ̀gàmọ̀gà lédè ìṣọ̀kan Yorùbá dénú.
ṣùgbọ́n bàbá wọn láwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò àmọ̀tẹ́kùn wọn ní kò sọ̀rọ̀ à ń lò wọn wọn ò ní làdá bẹ́ẹ̀ wọn ò sì gbọ́dọ̀ lókun mọ́ bóun ó ti wá mọ̀ ṣe.
ṣe bí wọn náà mọ̀ pé ń bá ti dúró tolódùmarè ohun gbogbo lóní.
a mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀.
ṣáájú láti gúnyán dolóró láti ṣẹ̀bẹ̀dẹ̀ lókù àti mọ̀ pé pákọ̀kọ̀ kì í jiyàn àti wó lórí lọ.
bíbó bàbá.
olódùmarè ti ṣílẹ̀kùn fọ́jọ́ òmìnira ti ṣílẹ̀kùn fọmọ tuntun ọjà òrà ti ṣílẹ̀kùn fọ́ ọ̀nìrìṣà.
ọ̀ṣẹ́ rẹ tẹ ti ṣílẹ̀kùn fúnre Yorùbá nù ọ̀rọ̀ yín ti yé mi.
gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ló gbàjà fámọ̀tẹ́kùn àbólẹ̀ Yorùbá ò gbọ́dọ̀ yẹ̀.
rédíò àti tẹlifíṣàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
Here comes the big bang.
The BCOS Bank. Mouth-watering bundle airtime sales for adverts and announcements.
Additional numbers of public paid announcement belts on Oluyole 90.5 FM, Agility 92.1 FM, Okyogun 96.3 FM, BCOS TV on StarTimes Channel 113 and GoTV Channel 105.
24-hour television transmission plus an unbeatable radio network. An innovative landmark. Advertise, announce, and promote that product and or service at a go on 3 clear-cut FM stations, Oluyole, Agility, and Okyogun simultaneously. Yes, same time.
The BCOS Big Bang. The Big Bang that covers the entire Oyo state and beyond.
Please call the BCOS customer care line 0815-271-9250. The BCOS, a media giant in a class of its own.
Hey, yàrá. Mo tún gbẹ́dẹ́ èyí yàtọ̀ títún tí mo tún gbẹ́dẹ́. Ẹ ǹlẹ́ ń bẹ̀ àwọn èèyàn wa òde òdùn bí a tún ti dé o nílé akéde Ọ̀yọ́ pẹ̀lú àrà aláìdíyelé lábala àkọ́kọ́ ètò ìròyìn lágbo amúlùdùn lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ mú wá fún yín lẹ́yìn rẹ̀ ní téńté orí ìròyìn ìfọ̀rọ̀dánà láfi káàdì abala yìí ńlẹ̀ ẹ̀yin aráalé náà sì dá sí i ká lè mọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe dáńtọ́ sí lábala àlejò wáyé o. Dókítà onímọ̀ ìṣègùn Khadija Alárápé lálejò wa onímọ̀ nípa ohun jíjẹ àti mímu fún àlàáfíà ọmọnìyàn ni wọ́n gẹ́gẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ṣe mọ̀ pé ọjọ́ kìíní sí ọjọ́ keje oṣù yìí ní àyájọ́ pàtàkì ọjọ́ káfọ́mọ lọ́yàn ìdí sì rèé tí wọ́n fi ń bọ̀ láti wá ṣàlàyé ní kúkú fún wa lórí ìdí tá a fi gbọ́dọ̀ tẹ́ ń pẹlẹ mọ́ fífún ọmọ lọ́yàn fún dídáńgájẹ́ àtàlàáfíà ohun ìlera tó péye fọ́mọ tá a fún lọ́yàn àti ìyá tó fọmọ lọ́yàn. àǹfààní wà nínú ká fọmọ lọ́yàn àmọ́ irú àwọn àǹfààní wo ni gbèdéke àkókò wo la gbọ́dọ̀ fọmọ lọ́yàn dà kí sì ni ewu tó rọ̀ mọ́ àìfọmọ lọ́yàn bó ti tọ́ àti bó ti yẹ. àwọn ìbéèrè wọ̀nyí àbọ̀ mi ìtẹ́ bá tún ní tó rú yín lójú ní kẹ́ ẹ tọ́jú de àlejò wa bó bá di Sunday lórí rédíò wa mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta Olúyọ̀lé FM 98.5 Òkè Ògùn FM 96.3 àti Ajílété FM 92.1 ni o. bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti ń gbọ́ wa lórí rédíò náà lẹ́tùn máa wò wá kedere lórí tẹlifíṣàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ kẹ́ ẹ má gbàgbé. dókítà Khadija Alárápé lálejò wa lọ́sẹ̀ yìí lórí èyí àrà kẹ́ ẹ fi sọ́kàn. èyí àrà.
èrè àwa èrè àwa èrè aládùúgbò òkèdè ìdúnyò.
ẹ ló bójú kò sí omi àtọ̀ṣe láti fọwọ́ àti hand sanitizer ẹ tún fààyè ẹsẹ̀ bàtà mẹ́fà sílẹ̀ láàrin ara yín ẹ ṣe burú báyìí.
àwọn ni wọ́n ń bá wí. àwọn oníwíkì àti kẹ̀kẹ́ márúwá tí wọ́n ń gbèrò méjì síwájú ńkọ́. àbáwọn ọlọ́kadà tí ń kàkọ́ pèrò méjì mẹ́ta lórí ọ̀kadà kan. wo ọlọ́run nìkan ló lè là wá o.
ọ̀rọ̀ náà ní kọ́kọ́ lélẹ́yìí o ọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo wa ni àwa fúnra wa ló yẹ ká mójútó ìlera ara wa nípa pípa òfin àti ìlànà tíjọba fún wa lórí covid-19 mọ́.
ẹ yé tanra yín jẹ àrùn olówó àtàwọn tó wà níjọba ní covid-19 kò ní lọ́wọ́ mẹ́kúnnù.
ẹ̀rí rí o pa mí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló gọ̀tò tó bá wọn dúró dìdò wo covid-19 kò mọ olówó kò má lágbára bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò yọ mẹ̀kúnnù lẹ̀ ká pòfin àti ìlànà mọ́ láfi lè yé.
sáwọn ará alẹ̀ máa pòfin mọ́tò gbọ́ sọ́ọ̀mọ̀ pé eégún tó bá lòrò ni wọ́n máa bọ̀wọ̀ fún náà yìí.
ilẹ̀kùn kan bẹ tó wò sí agbára òṣìṣì tó jẹ́ pé ọmọlúwàbí nìkan ló lè ṣe ọmọlúwàbí ni gómìnà wa ni kò fẹ́ ní ẹnikẹ́ni lára ló fi ní kí gbogbo wa ká fi ọwọ́ ara wa tún ìwà ara wa ṣe nítorí náà ká gbárùkù tìjọba torí pé ọwọ́ ara wa láàbò ẹ̀mí wa wà.
ló jẹ́ pé ọwọ́ ara wa láàbò ẹ̀mí wa wà.
àwa gbára lọ́wọ́ alára o wá di bàbá Olúyọ̀lé FM mo ní bàbá wọn ó ní bàbá lágbo dédé wọn wọ́n kàn ń bọ̀ yájà ní ṣàkó lóníṣẹ́ rẹ̀ àwa níwájú wọn ń tẹ̀lé wa láàfin èdè láàfin ọ̀rọ̀ láàfin àṣà láàfin ibi tí a ti mú ìlú dùn àṣètò ogun àgbọ̀n gbẹ̀kalẹ̀ kálukú bù tiẹ̀ lọ Olúyọ̀lé FM 98.5 gẹ́rẹ́ o làgbẹ̀ ń wọ́tọ̀kọ́ rẹ̀ lẹ́yìn gẹ́rẹ́ gẹ́rẹ́ ẹ̀yìn yòókù ẹ̀ máa tẹ̀lé wa gẹ́rẹ́. Olúyọ̀lé FM 98.5 máa kó wọn jẹ̀ ń ṣó.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gbogbo àwọn tó kù kọ́ máa tẹ̀lé wa lẹ́yìn nítorí pé Olúyọ̀lé náà ni bàbá aago 8 ti lò ètò elétò ọ̀fẹ́ òun náà la máa mú wa sétí bọ̀ yín.
aláyọ̀ èmi o ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ màlá tó ti gbégbé ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ìròyìn kárí ayé màlẹ́lẹ́yìn o ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà etí mi ò lè jò ń lò fọ́nrán yín ní tó lóko yín ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ẹ̀tẹ́ tí balẹ̀ jẹ́ ká tún jọgbọ́ ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ìkànnì tó gbajúgbajà Olúyọ̀lé FM ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà Ajílété FM tún máa gbọ́ wa lásìkò kan náà ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà Òkè Ògùn FM tó wà lálága ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó kún kẹ́kẹ́ ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ẹ máa gbọ́ nínú ilé nínú mọ́tò tàbí lórí ẹ̀rọ ìléwọ́ ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà Abel Praise ó tún ti yá àtúntọ́gbọ́ ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn rẹ̀ o. ojúmọ́ bá ti mọ́ ọ̀yẹ́ máa ń la o ọ̀yẹ́ tó la lọ ní o ọ̀yẹ́ ire ni ẹ̀kú ojúmọ́ lọ́dẹ̀dẹ̀ yìí o ojúmọ́ aláyọ̀ ẹni o ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ màlá tó ti gbégbé ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó etí mi ò lè jò ń lò fọ́nrán yín ní tolúkọ̀yìn. Ẹlẹ́tí ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Ẹ̀tẹ́ ti balẹ̀ jẹ́ ká tún jọgbọ́n. Ẹlẹ́tí ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Ìkànnì tó gbajúgbajà Olúyọ̀lé FM. Ẹlẹ́tí ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Ajílété FM tún máa gbọ́ wa lásìkò kan náà. Ẹlẹ́tí ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Òkè Ògùn FM tó wà lálága. Ẹlẹ́tí ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Ẹlẹ́tí ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó kún kẹ́kẹ́. Ẹlẹ́tí ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Ẹ máa gbọ́ nínú ilé nínú mọ́tò tàbí lórí ẹ̀rọ ìléwọ́. Ẹlẹ́tí ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Agbègbè ó tún ti yá ká tún jọgbọ́n Ẹlẹ́tí ọ̀fẹ́. Ẹlẹ́tí ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn rẹ̀ o.
tó ṣé wọ́n ní kúrọ́kúrọ́ kú ó kú sójú eérú ṣìkàṣìkà kú ó kú sójú àrò olóòótọ́ nìkan ní kú tá à ń fi epo sin resin ẹjẹ́ àgbáyé ṣe rere ò torí pé àṣegbé kan ò sí àṣepamọ́ òun náà ló wà èyí Táyọ̀ Olúṣọlá lèmi jẹ́ Táyọ̀ ni mò ń kí n kàbọ̀ sórí ètò Elétí Ọ̀fẹ́.
èyí Táyọ̀ báṣirò bá ń bá sinmi gbélé wọn ó sì búra wọn jẹ pẹ́tò bí wèrè bá ń bá wèrè rìn kò ní sí yàtọ̀ adíá fún àṣírínká abù fún wèrè òjò níbi tí onílàjà kẹsàn-án tí ó ti làjà tí ó dolówó àwa náà ó sọ̀rọ̀ lónìí àádọ́lọ́lá o á sọ̀rọ̀ lónìí àádọ́nire gbogbo àdínsọ àsọ wírò bótú àbí wá wí tẹnu rẹ̀ ń tó sọlẹ̀ kan kù díẹ̀ káàtó kò ní tẹnu wá jáde. Kúnlé Fáníyì Ifáńlá TV kọ̀ǹpútà dáfá ẹ káàárọ̀ o a tún ti gbé ka ìmọ̀lé ètò Elétí Ọ̀fẹ́.
ẹ mọ̀ wá báyìí pé bí ẹ ṣe ń gbọ́ wa ní ìkànnì Olúyọ̀lé FM 98.5 òun náà ni ẹ mọ̀ gbọ́ wa kétékété ní Ajílété FM 92.1 Òkè Ògùn FM 96.3 tó fi mú àwọn ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ gbogbo tó wà lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára bó ṣe ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ wò mí wọ Facebook ni kọjú sí mi kọjú sí ọ kájọ sọ̀rọ̀ kájọ dọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ àmọ̀ wá ń bẹ̀ ta létè ń bọ̀ síbẹ̀ Olúyọ̀lé 98.5 FM ẹ̀yẹ tẹ́pìnrà bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń wò wá kedere òmọ̀lẹ́mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń gbọ́ wa ketekete náà lẹ́mọ̀ wò wá kedere Ọlọ́run ló pé orí bẹ́ẹ̀ ká mọ̀ mu ní ọ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan èjèèjì pẹ̀lú kókó ẹ ti mọ̀ pé kókó òun náà níye Elétí Ọ̀fẹ́ kókó àkọ́kọ́ lọ́dọ̀ mi rèé o ó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú ohun tí ó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lágbo òṣèlú ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó ni o Wike ti ní pé gbogbo nǹkan tí ó bá gbà òun náà ni àwọn fún un pé àwọn ò ní jẹ́ kí wọ́n yọ gómìnà Godwin Obaseki nípò rẹ̀ bí ẹni yọ jìgá o.
bákan náà wọ́n ní pé àwọn aṣòfin tí wọ́n jẹ́ olólùfẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC wọ́n máa kọ gbogbo ẹ̀sùn àti ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tí Obaseki mọ̀ṣẹ̀ wọ́n sì fi ṣọwọ́ sí Màlàmí.
Agbẹjọ́rò àgbà fórílẹ̀-èdè yìí ti ké sí ọ̀gá àgbà àwọn ọlọ́pàá nílẹ̀ yìí pé kí wọ́n rí dájú pé ààbò tó péye wà fún àwọn aṣòfin 17 ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó àwọn wo ni kí sì nìdí ìròyìn ń bọ̀ láìpẹ́.
ẹ wò ó ẹ yàgò fún òṣèlú ẹlẹ́tanú àti òṣèlú tó ń mìmí ẹ̀dùn Jonathan ló rọ àwọn olóṣèlú bẹ́ẹ̀.
agbo òṣèlú náà ni mo ṣì wá o àwọn gómìnà inú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú alábùradà èyí ni People's Democratic Party PDP wọ́n ti bu ẹnu àtẹ́lu pé àwọn ọlọ́pàá ṣe yalu ilé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó wọ́n ní kò yẹ orí bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ìṣèjọba àwa ara wa.
Gbàràmí ti dẹ lẹ́rù o tí ajínigbé ti dọ̀pọ̀ ẹni báyìí ẹni tó jẹ́ adarí ẹgbẹ́ àwọn gómìnà nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC mọ̀ ti sọ̀rọ̀ ó ní ẹ̀hó sí ẹ̀rí òsì ọ̀mọlẹ̀ ó ti já ìpolongo ètò ìdìbò iṣẹ́ ìyàmùgbà pàtì.
ṣé wọ́n ní iná èṣìṣì jóni lẹ́ẹ̀mejì
tá a bá ṣọ́ra ni o.
tá a bá ṣọ́ra ni o àfikáyà ṣọ́ra o ẹ má jẹ́ kí ohun tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Zamfara Rivers àti Bayelsa ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Edo Buhari ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ fún ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú olóṣùṣù ọwọ́ APC.
bẹ́ẹ̀jì bá ń pààyè kan rẹ̀ gbogbo wa báyìí náà lè jí ń pa o wọ́n ní pé àwọn ẹgbẹ́ tó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀yà lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa Nàìjíríà nínú ẹ̀ta ti rí Ohanaeze Ndigbo ẹgbẹ́ Afẹ́nifẹ́re Pandef àti àwọn míì wọ́n ní pé wọ́n ó gúnlẹ̀ sí agbègbè gúúsù Kaduna lónìí náà ni nítorí àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n ṣekú pa ń bẹ̀.
iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ti kìlọ̀ fún àwọn ọmọ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́ òkùnkùn ní ìpínlẹ̀ náà pé kí wọ́n yà àtọwọ́ ọmọ wọn báṣọ o pé kí wọ́n jáwọ́ nínú ìpàdé tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe o.
orúgbó bọ̀ o.
níbo.
wọ́n ní pé àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ní ẹ̀ka ètò ìlera lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa Nàìjíríà wọ́n ti ń halẹ̀ dúnkokò wípé ẹ wò ó lórí àwọn owó kan pàápàá jùlọ àjẹmọ́nú tí wọ́n ní wọ́n mọ̀ fún wọn bí wọ́n ṣe ń tọ́jú àwọn tó ní covid-19 wọ́n ní wọn ò san fáwọn àti wípé èdè tíjọba gbọ́ òun náà làwọn fọ̀ kí náà ni ìyanṣẹ́lódì.
ẹgbẹ́ nupen ti pàṣẹ fún àwọn awakọ̀ epo láti kúrò ní ìpínlẹ̀ èkó bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọjọ́ ajé monde lọ kí ló fà á kí ló dé ọ̀rìn kìnìún rẹ̀ wà nínú kẹtẹpẹ ìròyìn elétí ọ̀fẹ́ o.
tó lórí iṣẹ́ àkànṣe eléyìí tó kùnà wọ́n ní pé àjọ tó ń rí sí ìdàgbàsókè agbègbè niger delta wọ́n ti sọ wípé ó gbè fọ́nfọ́n lóhun àti pé bí ebìtì ò bá pè rà yóò ṣàfihàn ìfẹ́lẹ́yìn wọ́n ní ẹ̀wò ṣe rí sẹ́nẹ́tọ̀ lẹ́yìn tó tẹ́wọ́ gba bílíọ̀nù 2.5 náírà tí òṣìṣẹ́ ọ̀hún àwọn fún ní ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì péré pé kó dá owó náà padà.
olùdásílẹ̀ ìjọ Daystar Christian Center èyí ni Pastor Sam Adéyẹmí ó ti ní pé àwọn ò ṣetán láti ṣe ilé ìjọsìn àwọn ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ti ní pé àwọn ilé ìjọsìn gbogbo ní ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún òun náà ni wọ́n ti lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jọ́sìn fọlọ́run o.
èyí Táyọ̀ kọ́lọ́ mọ̀ jẹ́ káìsàn olówó ó ṣèyàn o.
àmì o.
ìtorí bí ká bá dùn yàn pé tó bá ti la tó lówó lọ yìí kán dénú ìwọ tó ràn ọ̀rọ̀ rọpẹ́rẹ́ tí wọ́n ní kó fi há sọ́wọ́ tó sì fi rá wọ́n ní kí ló mú wọn.
nìṣólẹ̀
jẹ́ kí n sún sẹ́yìn.
nìṣólẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ ló parí lẹ́rìí.
aya rẹ̀ Muhammadu Buhari ó tẹkọ̀ létí lọ sílùú Dubai ó lọ tọ́jú ọrùn tí ń dùn. ọrùn ń dùn.
ọrùn tó olùdásílẹ̀ ìjọ kan náà rèé ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó tí wọ́n sọ yìí pé bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ti sọ yìí pé kí àwọn ilé ìjọsìn gbogbo wọlé wọ́n ní àwọn níta àwọn sì ní àwọn iṣẹ́ kan tí àwọn fẹ́ ṣe nílé ìjọsìn àwọn kí àwọn ọmọ ọ̀jọ́ àwọn mọ̀ bá ní kòrókò nígbà kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ọ̀jọ́ àwọn sì ní sùúrù káwọn fi parí títún àyíká ilé ìjọsìn ọ̀hún ṣe o.
tó bá di ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun Tuesday wọ́n ní pé aṣojú orílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà òun náà ni wọ́n yọ̀ǹda àwọn ẹ̀rọ tí ń gbé ẹ̀mí ró fún ìjọba àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà.
ẹgbẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ti fún iléeṣẹ́ ọkọ̀ òfurufú Airpeace àti Bristol ní ọjọ́ 14 láti pe àwọn awakọ̀ bàálù tí wọ́n dá dúró padà sẹ́nu iṣẹ́ o.
ẹ wò ó ṣe rí àgbẹ̀ ìgbésẹ̀ á wá wọn kàn á fi sìnkú òfin mú wọn á wá fi wọn sí àhámọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ lágbo lọ́wọ́ wọn tá a sì sì wọ́n lọ́wọ́ nù. àwọn èèyàn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n kó owó àti àwọn nǹkan míì fún láti jẹ́ kó tu àwọn èèyàn lára lásìkò COVID-19 ni o àjọ ICPC ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
ilé-ẹjọ́ ti ní ọjọ́ 29 oṣù kẹsàn-án náà ni wọ́n dájọ́ ẹ̀ẹ́sàkèsàkè.
tó wọ́n ní pé àwọn èèyàn ti ń fi ẹ̀hónú fi ẹ̀rù ọkàn wọn hàn lórí bí wọ́n ṣe ní pé ilé-ẹjọ́ kan tó wà nílùú Àbújá ó ta Naira Marley lójì wípé ẹ wò ó owó tí ń lọ bíi 200 náírà ọ̀nà ló san nítorí pé ó gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tako òfin tí wọ́n fi lẹ̀ láti tèdènà àrùn COVID-19.
òṣìṣẹ́ ọmọlẹ̀ ní ọjà pàdánù ìpínlẹ̀ Èdò Fáníyè òṣìṣẹ́ ọmọlẹ̀ ní ọjà pàdánù ìpínlẹ̀ Èdò èmi ò sí lára mélòó lára mi. ẹgbẹ́ àwọn gómìnà lábẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú olójúṣọwọ́ ní APC ni wọ́n sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ o.
ẹni tó bá ní etí kó gbọ́ orin tí ẹ̀mí ń kọ fún àwọn ìjọ o àjọ tó ń rí sí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ pàjáwìrì lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa Nàìjíríà mọ̀ ti sọ̀rọ̀ ó ní ẹ̀wọ́ ṣe rí àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ tí wọ́n ń lọ bíi 25 nínú ẹ̀ta àti rí Oǹdó Ọ̀ṣun Èkìtì òun ló ṣeé ṣe kí wọ́n fi ojú winá ẹ̀kún omi o.
Oyinlọ́lá ní iṣẹ́ ológun ò dàbí tìgbà kan mọ́ o ó ní ó mà ṣe òun rántí ìgbà tó ń ṣì wà ní iléeṣẹ́ ọmọ ológun gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀kan lára àwọn ọmọ ológun ó ní kò dàbí tìgbà kan mọ́ ó ní bí wọ́n ṣe ń lọ sójú ogun pẹ̀lú ìṣọwọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ wọn ó ní ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó bàbá rántí ìgbà tí wọ́n wà ní iléeṣẹ́ ọmọ ológun èèyàn Ọlágúnsóyè Oyinlọ́lá ó ní ò dàbí mọ́.
gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó kò mọ òfin rárá kò mọ àlàálẹ̀ òfin sọgbẹ́ èyí Táyọ̀ Tinubu ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
tó agbo àwọn òṣèré lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ti di ibi tí àwọn ọmọ yahoo àti àwọn olówó nàbí pọ̀ sí báyìí o èmi kọ́ mo sọ o ọ̀kan lára wọn Yẹmí Ṣọ́ládé ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó náà ti bàjẹ́.
ẹ wo èmi ò ní dá wọn mọ̀ o ṣe rí àwọn tí wọ́n wà nílé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin pàápàá jùlọ asòfin lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fílẹ̀ báyìí èmi ò dá mọ̀ rárá Ọbaṣẹ́kì ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó sì gbéná wojú Ganduje lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ló sọ.
sẹ́nẹ́tọ̀ àbárìbí sọ pé ìṣèjọba ààrẹ muhammadu buhari ló kún fún rògbòdìyàn àti làásìgbò ó ní ó yanilẹ́nu pé lábẹ́ ẹni tí ó ti fìgbà kan ní jẹ́ ọ̀gágun nínú iṣẹ́ ológun lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa nàìjíríà òun náà ni gbogbo ẹ ti wá polúkúmuṣu báyìí.
ẹ wò ó ẹni tí ò bá gbọ́ tẹnu ẹyẹ ẹ̀gà náà ni pé ẹyẹ okun pàtó ní báyìí ná eléyìí ni ìdí tá a fi wò ó pé yẹ ká fi kún owó ìtanilójì fún àwọn tó bá sokò bá kùn gbé ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá lè múná wọlé lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa nàìjíríà Lai Mohammed ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
ẹgbẹ́ Arewa ti sọ fún ìjọba àpapọ̀ pé kí wọ́n dáwọ́ ìpànìyàn tó ń wáyé ní apá àríwá orílẹ̀-èdè yìí dúró.
wọ́n ní ẹgbẹ́ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa nàìjíríà NLC ọ̀nà ni wọ́n ti fún iléeṣẹ́ lẹ́yìn tó ní ọkọ̀ ojú òfurufú Air Peace ní gbèdéke ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì àti àwọn míì báyìí wípé wo ṣe rí ìgbésẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ gbé èyí tẹ́ ẹ gbé tẹ́ ẹ fi tí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ yín dúró ẹ pé àárọ̀ àti ọ̀dọ̀fin inú yín kẹ́ ẹ pawódà kẹ́ ẹ táwọn ṣe kẹ́ ẹ pè wọ́n padà.
kò sí ohun tó burú nínú ìdásílẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ àwọn agbẹjọ́rò míì yàtọ̀ sí ti NBA. Tola ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
ìròyìn eléyìí ilẹ̀ òkèèrè náà ní orílẹ̀-èdè Ukraine ló sì ti ṣẹlẹ̀. wọ́n ní pé wọ́n ní pé arábìnrin kan lè tó jẹ́ ìyá ó wá gbẹ́lẹ̀ kótópókótópó ó gbẹ́lẹ̀ kótópókótópó láti yọ ọmọ rẹ̀ kúrò lọ́gbà ẹ̀wọ̀n tí wọ́n fi sí.
ṣé wọ́n ní àdá ò ní bẹ́ṣu kó dáràn fáníyè bẹ́ẹ̀ náà sì ni ajá ò ní gbó títí kéyìn rẹ̀ ó ká. Tinubu ló sọ̀rọ̀ ó sọ fún Ọbaṣẹ́kì ó ní ohun tó ṣe ò dá o búra fáwọn aṣòfin 14 ó ní ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó.
kọ́mọ ọba mẹ́ẹ̀dùmarè kọ́ máa sọ wa àní ọ̀rọ̀ àdó olóró èyí tó ṣekú pa ẹ̀gbọ́n òun arákùnrin kan ní sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ní pé àwọn ọmọ abitádò náà ti wá nípínlẹ̀ Borno.
wọ́n ní ó yanilẹ́nu wípé ní àná ó ní àwọn olóògùn náà pé bàbí sí ilé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Èdó tí wọ́n sì ń ṣépè tìbílẹ̀ ni o tí wọ́n sì ń ṣépè fún àwọn alátakò Ọbaṣẹ́kì.
tọ́sọ ní mi lọ́wọ́ ń bẹ̀.
kókó ti di wá pé ń bí o.
ọ̀gbẹ́ni Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn.
bàbá wa ẹ káàárọ̀.
ẹ káàárọ̀.
àní bàbá yín bẹ́ẹ̀ sí bàbá yín ẹ káàárọ̀ gbọ́ yàrá lé o ẹ̀yin tẹ́ nífẹ̀ẹ́ gbọ́ wa ẹ ṣé o ẹ̀yin tẹ́ nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa ẹ̀yin tẹ́ nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa náà àwa fẹ́ràn yín àdúrà mi ni pé lónìí a ní rí wàhálà o òní á pé wa á dẹ̀ gbé wa ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́ gbó tá a bá ṣe lónìí àwa tá a lọ patí ẹ̀dẹ́ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wọ̀n tí wọ́n sí okòrò sí ìbẹ́ ń ta kò tí ì lọ o.
Máyọ̀wá gbẹ́sẹ̀.
ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà etí mi ò lè jò ń lò fọ́nrán yín ní tolúkan yín ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ẹ̀tẹ́ tí balẹ̀ jẹ́ ká tún jọgbọ́n ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ìkànnì tó gbajúgbajà Olúyọlé FM ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà Ajílété FM ẹ tún máa gbọ́ wa lásìkò kan náà ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà Òkè Ògùn FM tó wà lálága ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó kún kẹ́kẹ́ ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ẹ máa gbọ́ nínú ilé nínú mọ́tò tàbí lórí ẹ̀rọ ìléwọ́ ẹlẹ́tì ọ̀fẹ́.
tó wọ́n yẹ já máa mú lọ́kọ̀ọ̀kan àtìjèjì ìròyìn àkọ́kọ́ tí màá kọ́kọ́ mú ọ náà ló ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ ààrẹ àná lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa Nàìjíríà ọ̀mọ̀wé Goodluck Jonathan níbi tó ti rọ àwọn olóṣèlú akẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ wípé kí wọ́n yàgò fún òṣèlú ẹ̀tanú àbí èyí tó bá lè fagbódòrò sọ bí kò ṣe kí wọ́n máa gba àlàáfíà láàyè kí wọ́n sì máa gbárùkù ti àwọn nǹkan tó bá lè mú orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà gòkè àgbà. Jonathan sọ eléyìí di mímọ̀ lọ́jọ́ Ẹtì Friday lásìkò ìpàdé orí ìkànnì ayélujára kan lẹ́yìn tí ẹgbẹ́ kan tó wá láti agbègbè ìjọ tí wọ́n pè ní ìjọ National Development Group tí wọ́n ṣe agbátẹrù rẹ̀ tí wọ́n sì fi léde láti inú àtẹ̀jáde kan tó wá láti àkàtà amúgbálẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ìròyìn Ikechukwu Eze lórí ìtàkùn ayélujára ìfìwéránṣẹ́ email àtẹ̀jáde náà pé ààrẹ àná nílẹ̀ yìí ọ̀mọ̀wé Goodluck Jonathan ó mọ̀ rọ̀ àwọn olóṣèlú láti yàgò fún òṣèlú ẹ̀tanú bẹ́ẹ̀ ló tún wá rọ̀ wọ́n wípé kí wọ́n gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tó lóòrìn kí èrú láwọn kó panupọ̀ sí ojú kan kí wọ́n sì gbé ìgbésẹ̀ àrògún lórí ìmúgbòòrò àlàáfíà àti ohun tó bá lè mú kó orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà kó tẹ̀síwájú. ààrẹ àná yìí tún rọ̀ wọ́n láti jẹ́ kí ìfẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà jẹ́ nǹkan àkọ́kọ́ lọ́kàn àyà wọn wípé òṣèlú ò kì í ṣe nípa mímọ̀ làkàkà láti máa mú àwọn èèyàn síkúnsíkún àbí láti máa mọ́ta àbí láti máa lọ́kìtì pẹ̀lú ẹni. ó ní pé nǹkan tí òṣèlú pè fún ni wíwá àyè kí o sì lo àǹfààní tó o bá ní ipa rere ní ara àwọn èèyàn àti ìdàgbàsókè orílẹ̀-èdè rẹ̀ láì fi ti ẹ̀yà bí ìyàtọ̀ nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ṣe. ẹ jẹ́ ká gbìmọ̀ pọ̀ ká gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tó lóòrìn ká sì ro àrògún lórí àwọn ètò tó lè mú àlàáfíà àti ìṣọ̀kan ọrọ̀ ìlọsíwájú bọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà gẹ́gẹ́ bí onígbọ̀wọ́ fún ìjọba àwarawa lẹ́yìn tó yanjú àti ìjọba rere lórílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà àti lẹ́kùn ibi tí orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà wà. Ó ní pé òun wojú wòye àti pé nǹkan tó wà lọ́kàn òun tí òun fẹ́ òun náà ni pé kí àwọn èèyàn lẹ̀ yìí kí wọ́n gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tó lóòrìn kí wọ́n sì pawọ́pọ̀ yan adarí lẹ́yìn tó wù wọ́n lọ́kàn tó jẹ́ pé ó jẹ́ ìfẹ́ inú wọn. Ó ní ẹ̀wò kò sí nǹkan kan tó lè ti ẹ̀yìn rẹ̀ yọ tí àwọn èèyàn tó bá wà lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa Nàìjíríà pàápàá jùlọ àwọn adarí tí wọ́n bá ń ṣe ìfanfà láàrin wọn. Ó ní pé kò ní jẹ́ kí orílẹ̀‐èdè ó lọ síwájú bákan náà ni yóò máa wakọ̀ orílẹ̀‐èdè sẹ́yìn. Ó wá tún sọ̀rọ̀ síwájú ó ní pé n tó ṣe kókó tó ṣe pàtàkì tó yẹ kí àwọn olóṣèlú kí wọ́n mú lọ́kùnkúndùn òun náà ni ìfẹ́ àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà àti ìfẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè lẹ́yìn ìgbà yìí gangan náà ló tó wá kan ìfẹ́ wọn. Ó ní pé ìfẹ́ wọn là kọ́kọ́ ńgbà tí wọ́n bá wò pọ́n fẹ́ di nǹkan tí wọ́n bá ti wádìí tán kí wọ́n gbé ìfẹ́ wọn ètì kí wọ́n sì mú ìfẹ́ àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè lọ́kùnkúndùn. Ó ní ìjẹ́yìn ti ẹ̀mọ̀ wípé bí ẹni tá a bá ń tàn ò bá mọ̀ ẹni tó bá ń tàn yàn ọmọọmọ oníṣẹ́ rí adarí tẹ́ pé ìfẹ́ ti ẹnìkan ló sàn fi ojoojúmọ́ lépa rẹ̀. Ó ní pé yẹpẹrẹ òun náà ni yóò sọ àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè dì bákan náà ni ìfẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè gangan àti lọ́síwájú rẹ̀ níjẹ̀ kankan ló kan àyà rẹ̀. Nítorí ìdí eléyìí ẹ jẹ́ ká pe àárọ̀ àti ọ̀dọ̀fin inú wa ká gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tó lóòrìn ká sì pawọ́pọ̀ lórí àwọn ìlànà àti àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tí yóò jẹ́ kí orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà jẹ́ alálàáfíà àti onílọsíwájú. Jonathan ló sọ̀rọ̀.
Wike ti ní pé gbogbo nǹkan tí ó bá gbà náà ni àwọn fò pé àwọn ò ní jẹ́ kí wọ́n yọ Obaseki kúrò nípò rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Rivers Nyesom Wike. Ó ti bu ẹnu àtẹ́ lu rògbòdìyàn tí ń wáyé ní inú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP ní ìpínlẹ̀ Edo. Ó ní pé ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nílé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Edo òun náà ni ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó àmọ́ tó ní ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú alábùradà PDP náà ni ò ní gbà kí wọ́n yọ gómìnà Obaseki kúrò nípò rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Edo. Wike ẹni tó jẹ́ alága ìgbìmọ̀ ètò ìpolongo ìbò fún ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú alábùradà PDP sọ pé bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú olóṣùṣòwò ẹ̀yìn ní APC ni wọ́n wà nídìí fàákájà ọ̀hún láti lè yọ Obaseki kúrò nípò bí ẹni yọ jìgá. Gómìnà Wike lójú ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ní ìlú Port Harcourt lọ́jọ́ Ẹtì Friday pé ẹrù ló ń ba ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC o pé ó ṣeéṣe kí àwọn pàdánù nínú ètò ìdìbò gómìnà tó ń bọ̀ lọ́nà pẹ̀lú ọwọ́ tí Obaseki ń gbé yìí. Ó ní ìdílé tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC fẹ́ fi ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ náà ní kàkàkékù mọ́jẹ ṣèṣe pé yóò fi ṣàwàdànù ní ìgbésẹ̀ tó ní ó léwu fún ètò ìṣèjọba àwarawa lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí. Wike wá ké sí gbogbo àwọn ènìyàn rere ìpínlẹ̀ Edo pé ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú olóṣùṣọwọ̀ ó ní kí wọ́n so láṣọ mú tí wàhálà bá fi lè ṣẹlẹ̀ pẹ́rẹ́ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Edo torí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP ò sí nídìí ìwà àbàjẹ́ ìwà rúdurùdu. Wike ní í ṣe ni wọ́n fẹ́ mọ́ alẹ̀ mọ́ Godwin Obaseki ṣáájú ètò ìdìbò tí ó wáyé lógúnjọ́ oṣù kẹsàn-án ọdún 2020 torí pé wọ́n ti mọ̀ yí pé àwọn ò lè jẹ ní o.
tó ẹgbẹ́ àwọn gómìnà nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC lọ́jọ́ Ẹtì Friday ti sọ̀rọ̀ sọ́di mímọ̀ wípé òsì ẹ̀rí òsì ọmọ ẹlẹ́mọ̀ ti gba ètò ìpolongo ìbò mọ́ iṣẹ́ ìyàmù lọ́wọ́ tí ọ̀rọ̀ sì wá di ìsòkúùsòkú Abídógun Ìkéèpẹ̀. àrò wà níwọ̀ fàmọ́ báyìí obi onígbọ̀wọ́ tó pé abánikówó òun náà lára ni. Nínú àtẹ̀jáde tí ẹgbẹ́ àwọn gómìnà ọ̀hún fi léde láti ọwọ́ ẹni tí ó jẹ́ adarí ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀hún òun náà lọ́mọ̀ ti sọ̀rọ̀ yìí dókítà Lukman ó ké gbàjarè lórí nǹkan tí ó ṣe àpèjúwe gẹ́gẹ́ bí àmúyẹ ìlànà ètò ìdìbò ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC lẹ́yìn tí ó ti yìnrìn báyìí. Lukman fi ẹ̀dùn ọkàn rẹ̀ hàn wípé bí wọ́n ṣe tú ìgbìmọ̀ aláṣẹ lẹ́yìn tí Adams Osihomhole tó ń léwájú rẹ̀ ká nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC òun náà ni kò tí ì mú ojútùú bá akùdé tó bá ìlànà ìbò tó yẹ tó sì yanrantí lẹ́yìn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ń tò sọ́mọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ láti jí kódà ó ní pé kàkà kó sàn lára ọmọ ìyá àti bí wọn ṣíṣe náà ló ń fi ojoojúmọ́ bí òbí káàkiri rẹ̀ lẹ̀ lórí ètò ìdìbò lẹ́yìn tí ń kànlẹ̀kùn wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo àti Edo. Ó pé akitiyan ti ń lọ lọ́wọ́ láti ọ̀dọ̀ gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo Rotimi Akeredolu láti parí dúkù tí ń bẹ láàrin àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ àti àti àwọn aṣíwájú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ní ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún tó sì ní pé àwọn gbé òṣùbà káre fún un ó ṣe dáadáa ó ní ṣùgbọ́n sá ó ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó ó ní pé ọ̀tọ̀ mọ́ ni ọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ní pé ó ṣe rí nǹkan tí wọ́n fi gbé ìgbésẹ̀ pẹ̀tùsáwọ̀ paná dúkù ṣíṣe náà ni wọ́n ń lu ìlú pẹ́ǹtúkà tí wọ́n sì ń lu agogo mẹ̀yàmẹ̀yà ń bẹ̀ Lukman pé kọ́mẹ̀dọ̀ sí ọ̀mọlẹ̀ ló ti padà sí ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó tó sì ti gba ìpolongo ètò ìdìbò ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC kan báyìí o lẹ́yìn tí ó sì dàbí pé ètò ìdìbò sípò gómìnà ní ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún ló tún jẹ́ ìgbésẹ̀ ìfigagbága pètè ogun míì láàrin Osihomhole àti Godwin Obaseki tó jẹ́ gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ náà ó ní pé òwe ìpolongo ètò ìdìbò ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ló jẹ́ èyí tó jẹ́ pé ó dàbí ìgbà tó yẹ pé Osihomhole àti adíje dupò ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú náà olùṣọ́àgùtàn Zagi Ize Iyamu òun náà lọ́yà gbà pé wọ́n ti wà mọ́rí báyìí o tí àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ gan sì fẹ́ ráàyè mọ́ ó ní ẹ̀wọ́ ṣẹ̀rí bí ètò ìpolongo òdìbò ṣe ń lọ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó báyìí ó jẹ́ èyí tó jẹ́ ẹlẹ́mìí ẹ̀dùn àti pé pákáleke náà ni lárí bí Osihomhole bó ṣe fi ọwọ́ mu ó ní ẹ̀wọ́ láti nǹkan bíi ọdún 2016 sí àkókò tá a wà yìí òun náà ni Osihomhole ti fi ọwọ́ rọ́ àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ sẹ́yìn lẹ́yìn tó ti súnmọ́ sí pé Osihomhole gan ọmọ ti kọ ara rẹ̀ kalẹ̀ bó ti lọ rẹ̀ bá àwọn olùgbé ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó tó sì rá bàbà kúnlẹ̀ wípé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má bínú o ṣe rí ìgbésẹ̀ tó ń gbé ní nǹkan bí ọdún mẹ́rin sẹ́yìn àṣìṣe ńlá gbáà ni tó ń sì rọ̀ wọ́n pé kí wọ́n pawọ́ pọ̀ kí wọ́n má fọwọ́ lé òun dànù ṣùgbọ́n bí adìẹ bá ṣe bí ẹyin tán báyìí yóò fi ẹnu rẹ̀ fámọ́dọ̀ ni kí wọ́n sì fọmọ ra ó ní ẹ wò ó ṣe wá rí báyìí gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ yìí ó dàbí ìgbà tó yẹ pé àwọn ò tí ì kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lórí òòlù tó fún àwọn lépo ní àkọ́kọ́ ni ó ní bí àwọn ò bá ṣọ́ra òòlù fún àwọn lépo lẹ́ẹ̀kejì ó wá béèrè ìbéèrè ó ní pé ẹ wò ó ṣe rí ẹja gbọ́ná ìjẹ́ àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ aṣíwájú wa nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC tí wọ́n mọ̀ yìí pé ìgbésẹ̀ tó fa gbódòrò sọ láàrin àwọn aṣíwájú míì tẹ́lẹ̀ tí gbogbo ẹ fi ń ké mẹ̀yàmẹ̀yà òun náà ni ìlànà àti ìgbésẹ̀ bí ètò ìdìbò ṣe lọ lẹ́yìn tó ti ń yìnrìn bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ní ṣé wọ́n tiẹ̀ wàá mọ̀ gan ni ó ní pé ojútùú wà làwọn ó gbé tí yóò fi yanjú ó ní báwọn ọ̀bà wa mọ ọ̀nà táwọn gbà á jẹ́ wípé ọ̀rọ̀ kan di nǹkan míì.
tó bá jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó náà ní sàjẹ́ tó láyé ẹ̀jẹ̀ àjọmọ́ kó òun sí. agbẹjọ́rò àgbà fún orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ti ké sí ọ̀gá àgbà àwọn ọlọ́pàá nílẹ̀ yìí pé kí wọ́n rí i dájú pé ààbò tó péye wà fún àwọn aṣòfin 17 ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó àwọn wo ni kí sì nìdí rẹ̀ ìròyìn rẹ̀ gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà mínísítà fẹ́tò ìdájọ́ àti agbẹjọ́rò àgbà lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí Abubakar Malami ti pàṣẹ fún ọ̀gá àgbà àwọn ọlọ́pàá lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí pé kí wọ́n rí i pé wọ́n dáàbò bo àwọn aṣòfin 17 tí wọ́n wá láti inú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú olóṣùṣù ọ̀wọ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó nínú lẹ́tà kan tí wọ́n kọ lọ́jọ́ 5 oṣù kẹjọ sí ọ́fíìsì rẹ̀ ló jẹ́ kí òun sọ pé ó yẹ kí ààbò tó múnádóko wà fún ẹ̀mí àti dúkìá àwọn èèyàn náà ó ní àwọn ọmọlé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó 17 tí wọ́n jẹ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú olóṣùṣù ọ̀wọ̀ APC tí wọ́n ṣe àtìlẹ́yìn fún Paito Ise Iyamu òun náà ni wọn ò jẹ́ kí wọ́n wọ ọgbà ilé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ náà tó wà ní ojú ọ̀nà olóòbírípo Ìnúrí Road ní ìlú Benin èyí tí wọ́n ní ó jẹ́ iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ àwọn aṣòfin 7 tí wọ́n jẹ́ olóòótọ́ sí gómìnà Godwin Obaseki wọ́n ní ohun tí àwọn aṣòfin 17 yìí sọ nínú lẹ́tà tí wọ́n kọ sí Malami ni pé Obaseki ti lọ sínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP pé kò láṣẹ láti máa darí ilé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ náà mọ́ o wọ́n ní kò lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ kó jẹ́ pé àwọn aṣòfin péréte ìhùn ní àwọn aṣòfin 7 ni ó mọ̀ darí ilé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó tí wọn ò sì ní jẹ́ kí àwọn aṣòfin 17 wọlé aṣòfin ọ̀hún láti ṣe ojúṣe wọn bí aṣòfin tí wọ́n dìbò yàn wọ́n ní eléyìí ò bójúmu àwọn ké sí Malami pé kí ó lo abala òfin 150 nínú ìwé òfin ilẹ̀ wa ọdún 1999 láti jẹ́ kí àlàáfíà padà sí ilé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Ẹdó ìdírè o tí Malami fi pàṣẹ fún ọ̀gá àgbà àwọn ọlọ́pàá lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí pé kí ó pèsè ètò ààbò tó rinlẹ̀ tó múnádóko fún ìfilọ́lẹ̀ àwọn aṣòfin 17 náà lásìkò ìjókòó wọn tó ń bọ̀ láìpẹ́.
ọ̀gbẹ́ni Michael Ogunṣínà ẹ jí kí n gba ẹ̀dùn lọ́wọ́ Èyítáyọ̀ kí n fi gègé ẹ jí ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti bi ìròyìn ẹ̀ tí ó kàn wọ́n ní pé Malami ti pa láṣẹ fún ọ̀gá àgbà fún iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá wípé kí wọ́n dáàbò bo àwọn aṣòfin 17 ìgbésẹ̀ tó wáyé ló ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ìgbésẹ̀ tí àwọn ọmọlẹ́gbẹ̀mọ aṣòfin gbé tí wọ́n fi gbàjarè ẹ jí ká wò ó gẹ́gẹ́ bí amòfin àgbà lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa Nàìjíríà ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ìrújú ẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n sírò àkókò báyìí ló yẹ kí wọ́n ṣé kò yẹ kí wọ́n ti gbèrú ìgbésẹ̀ báyìí tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀.
ẹ ṣe mo sọ nǹkan kan náà nígbà tí Malami fẹ́ kẹnubọ ọ̀rọ̀ wa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ mo ní ẹ má jẹ́ ká máa fi ojú amòfin àgbà àbí mínísítà fún ètò ìdájọ́ wo Malami ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ní Malami ipò tó wà ipò òṣèlú ni wọ́n yàn síbẹ̀ torí pé ó jẹ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC tó ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìpolongo àti ìdìbò ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ni.
àmọ́ gbogbo olúwa náà ṣiṣẹ́ fún nìsín.
báyìí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC náà sì ló wà kò tún kú bẹ́ẹ̀.
ipò tán wá wà nǹkan.
àwọn olóògbé máa pè kankan ní primordial sentiment pé tí ó bá kàn mí tó kàn ẹ̀ tó kàn mí yóò fèsì bí kan ju bí kan lọ. So nǹkan tẹ́mi bá kàn retí pé kí Attorney General kò sọ ni pé ẹ̀yin IGP abẹ́ lórúkọ Ọlọ́run ẹ rí i pé àlàáfíà wà nípínlẹ̀ Edo kì í ṣe pé ọ̀rọ̀ tí Malami sọ bí ẹni pé ó ti fi síbì kan ó ti fi sí apá kan ju apá kan lọ nítorí mi wò pé ẹ̀kan sọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àgbàlagbà tó fẹ́ àlàáfíà gbogbo àwọn tó ń díje ni pé ọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá ẹjọ́ ẹ rán àwọn ikọ̀ yín lọ sí Edo láti rí i pé àlàáfíà jọba kì í ṣe pé ẹ fáwọn kan ní ààbò ẹ má fáwọn kan ní ààbò ìwà tí ò da ìwà tí kò tọ́ fún ẹni tó jẹ́ mínísítà fún odidi orílẹ̀-èdè kì í ṣe mínísítà nìkan mínísítà fún ètò ìdájọ́ mo ti sọ náà rí pé ṣe rántí nígbàtà lọ́dà ní ọ̀rọ̀ kan nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ náà gbà náà tí Malami sọ pé ẹ wò Ọlọ́run àgbà wà lọ́wọ́ èèyàn bíi Malami mo mọ̀ Ọlọ́run gbà wà pẹ̀lú ìṣòro èmi máa ń fẹ́ kí kásò tọrọ síbi tó tọrọ wà Abubakar Malami tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ tó bá sọ nǹkan tó bá sọ màá kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wò pé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí sọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú ni torí ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ni kódà tá a bá rántí nígbà tí wọ́n yan alága fìdíhẹ fún ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Yobe Mai Mala Buni òun ni wọ́n lò láti búra fún nígbà tí wọ́n ní àṣeyẹ kí mínísítà fún ètò ìdájọ́ ní orílẹ̀ kó búra fún Mai Mala Buni ẹ̀mọ́ tó sọ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC lòun so òun lè búra òun ṣe iṣẹ́ òun gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbẹjọ́rò fún ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ni so ipò tó wà ipò so tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ ńgbà mí ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́ wò pé ra ọ̀rọ̀ tó sọ yìí ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá òfin lọ ni alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ni pé ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú ni so ètò sọ lánàá yẹn lójú tèmi o ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú ni ọ̀rọ̀ pé ó fẹ́ dáàbò bo interest ẹgbẹ́ wọn gbà ó dà pé àwọn mẹ́tàdínlógún yìí ló ń ṣe ti ẹgbẹ́ wa ọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá jọ lọ dáàbò bo àwọn mẹ́tàlélógún yìí kí ló dé tí ò ní ọlọ́pàá ẹ dáàbò bo gbogbo àwọn arápẹ̀lẹ̀ Edo láti rí pé ìjàmbá ṣẹlẹ̀ sẹ́nì kankan.
àmọ́ tí a bá tún wọ ọ̀rọ̀ tí Wike sọ náà ṣé kìí ṣe pé torí ẹ̀ ni Wike fi sọ yìí pé àwọn ò ní gbà kí wọ́n yọ gómìnà Godwin Obaseki ṣé wọ́n ti rí pé tí wọ́n bá yọ Obaseki pé tí wọ́n bá búra fáwọn mẹ́tàdínlógún yìí pé nǹkan tán fẹ́ lọ ṣe nù.
ẹ ṣe àwọn olóyìnbó wọ́n sọ pé every action requires equal or opposite reaction ní ìsọ̀rọ̀ ní gbèsè
sukusi ní gbèsè gangan.
tí Malami tí ò bá ṣe ohun tó ṣe àwọn Wike náà ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ pé nǹkan báyìí lóyún tẹ́ bá ṣe kí inú kàwá náà ò ní gbà òótọ́ tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ nìyẹn ṣẹ̀dẹ̀ rí ọ̀rọ̀ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Edo yìí òní kọ́lọ̀ rẹ̀ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ pa àti sọ́nà rí ní orí ètò yìí nígbà kan náà pé ṣe rí àwọn kan wà tó yẹ kán búra fún dẹ́kọ̀ tẹ́ búra fún ẹ lọ sí ilé ẹjọ́ láti gba court order pé kán declare state of vacant ẹjọ́ dẹ̀ sọ pé ó dà subsisting ní ẹlẹ́ ó ti wà vacant èmi máa sọ fún àwọn kan fún àwọn èèyàn pé ṣe rí tí ọ̀rọ̀ bá ti ṣe láàrin àwọn olóṣèlú àti APC àti PDP ó tọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ẹgbẹ́ méjì kò sí àtọ̀ láàrin wọn o ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù kan náà ni wọ́n jẹ́sí tán wọ́n lò yàtọ̀
aṣọ ló yàtọ̀
dọ̀gárà PDP lónìí ó ti wà ní APC lọ́la ẹ mọ́ kankan àwọn méjèèjì so ó yẹ kẹ́lẹ́ bára wọn sọ̀rọ̀ tún lè nù gbégbé wo àwọn adífẹ́jọ dìbò ni àwa lolóṣèlú àwọn aráàlú tó bá aṣòṣèlú ẹ má yẹ ká fi tiwa kó bá ti ti wọn ẹ wò àwọn mẹ́rin táwọn dìbò yàn tí ẹ búra fún látijọ́ yìí ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ ní pé àwọn tó dìbò yàn wọn àwọn constituency wọn látijọ́ yìí àwọn ò tí ì rí àǹfààní ìjọba wa ara wa kò sẹ́ni tó ń ṣojú wọn nílẹ̀ ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin kò sí ní tó lè fà á mọ́ àdàpọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú ni kò sí ní tó lè fà á tó yẹ kẹ́ jẹ́ kí àwọn aráàlú kí wọ́n máa jẹ̀yà wàhálà ẹ̀yìn olóṣèlú rárá gbọ́ tí ò dání so ọ̀rọ̀ tí Òṣìọ̀mọ̀lẹ̀ ń sọ pé tí aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu sọ pé Obaseki kò tẹ̀lé àlàálẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè wa mo ní àti gbàgbé ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ gbọ́ Òṣìọ̀mọ̀lẹ̀ náà kí ló tán sọ̀rọ̀ ńgbà yẹn nígbà tó Òṣìọ̀mọ̀lẹ̀ yọ àwọn abẹnugan ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Èdó bó ṣe wù wọ́n
ọ̀gbẹ́ni Michael Ogunṣina tá a bá bẹ́ràn wí ká bẹ́ràn wí ṣé ẹ gbàgbé pé àwọn aṣòfin tí wọ́n ní wọn ò tí ì bóra fún yìí kò sẹ́ni tó lé wọn fúnra wọn láwọn ò fẹ́ olórí ilé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Èdó wọ́n sì kọrí Àbújá. kò sẹ́ni tó ní owó ò sọ wípé àwọn ò ní búra fún wọn àwọn náà bínú pé àwọn ò fẹ́ olórí ilé aṣòfin wọ́n sì ṣe gbàgbé wọ́n sì lọ Àbújá.
ṣẹ́rí nǹkan tí mo sọ lélẹ̀ tí ẹ tán bá búra fún yín tẹ́ bá ti di honourable member ẹ ní agbára àti àṣẹ láti yan abẹnugan ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àbí àwọn honourable member àwọn tó dìbò yàn àwọn honourable ló máa sọ pé ẹni báyìí la fẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí abẹnugan wa fún speaker wa ẹni báyìí la fẹ́ fún speaker wa àbí ǹjẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ pé mo ṣe sọ́lẹ̀ kan ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú ni ǹjẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ pé kì í ṣe láti ó mà ti ń tóbi láti ọdún tó kọjá tí wọ́n ti dìbò yàn wọ́n tán ti wọlé ni wọ́n ti ń gbá bọ́ọ̀lù wọ́n ti play yayò láàrin kó tó fẹjú báyìí pé àbúra fún wa ṣẹlẹ̀ mọ̀ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ibì kan wà nípínlẹ̀ Kwara tó jẹ́ pé lónìí dòní wọ́n ti búra fún ọ̀rẹ́bí bàkan náà tó wọlé àwọn aráàlú dìbò fún yàn ó wọlé torí pé kò sí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú gómìnà ẹ̀ búra fún yàmi ìmọ̀rú ìlú tàwa yìí o àwọn aráàlú dìbò fún yàn torí kò sí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú gómìnà ẹ wá ń gbá ẹ ń ṣe bí bọ́ọ̀lù ẹ ń gbá sókè ẹ ń gbá sósì ìtumọ̀ ní pé àwọn aráàlú tó dìbò fún àwọn náà ò ní rí àǹfààní ìjọba ara tó yẹ kán rí torí jẹ́ kó náà rí òun náà rí so ẹni tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nípínlẹ̀ Èdó ká má fagùn gbogbo alamọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú ni ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú APC àti PDP ohun tẹ́mi dẹ̀ sọ ni pé ṣẹ́rí àwọn méjèèjì tó máa ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ wàhálà wọn ká má jẹ́ kó máa ní ipa lórí àwọn aráàlú àbọ̀ kò sẹ́ni tó máa ń ṣòṣèlú APC PDP ẹ máa wàhálà sí nìyẹn àmọ́ ìdàgbàsókè ìlú ládìgbò fún yín fún ìdàgbàsókè ládìgbò fún yín kì í ṣe pé kẹ́ máa fi ọjọ́ iwájú àbí àǹfààní àwọn èèyàn kẹ́ fi máa gbá bọ́ọ̀lù kẹ́ fi máa ṣòṣèlú ohun tí ò dá ni ohun tó dẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ nípínlẹ̀ Èdó nìyẹn so ní àárọ̀ àtọ̀básẹ̀kì ni mo bá wí àti
pastor
oṣù ọmọlẹ kò tí kan ṣe ìyàmú o kò tí kan torí ohun tá a bá fọn fún fèrè ní fèrè máa fọn jáde o ẹsẹ ìyàmú ṣe gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èdó kò ní political agbára kankan kò lágbára òṣèlú kankan nípínlẹ̀ Èdó àwọn kan ló ń tì ó ní olùdíje lábẹ́ òṣèlú APC àwọn kan ló ń tì àwọn pé wọ́n ní sponsor àwọn kan ló ń tì lẹ́yìn àwọn oṣù nígbọ̀wọ́ pé máa rí lọ́sẹ̀ nǹkan báyìí àwa lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ lọ́sẹ̀ nǹkan báyìí tí ẹ bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bó lẹ́sẹ̀ lọ jókòó ẹ̀yin honourable member ẹ wá lọ jókòó sí ilé opposition ẹ̀yin tó ń dìbò fún gómìnà ní ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ní ilé ẹ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀ lọ ṣe ìpàdé láti yan abẹnugan lẹ́gbàá aṣòfin tuntun nínú ilé ẹ̀.
ẹ ṣe tó ẹ jí ká gbára kàṣídà ká máa mú lọ́kọ̀ọ̀kan èjèèjì ṣé bí Yorùbá bọ̀ wọ́n ni pé à ń torí àjájá àjápẹ́ta níjà lẹ́kùnlé òun ẹ̀yìn náà ni ọ̀rọ̀ tí ìjọba àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà sọ bí wọ́n ṣe sọ di mímọ̀ wípé ẹ wo ṣe rí àfikún owó ìtanràn ní èyí tí àwọn fi kún pé lórí kò bá kò gbé ọ̀rọ̀ láti ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà sí mílíọ̀nù márùn-ún náírà wípé nítorí àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà náà ni nítorí pé àwọn kan wọ́n fẹ́ fi ọ̀rọ̀ kò bá kò gbé àsọtún ọ̀rọ̀ dọ̀jú orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà bolẹ̀ wọ́n ní ẹ wá wo kò wá nítorí àwọn kò ní tójú àwọn kó wá bàjẹ́ mínísítà fún ètò ìròyìn àti àṣà lórílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà Alhaji Lai Mohammed máa sọ àsúnyẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí lórí ètò kan lọ́jọ́ Ẹtì Friday lẹ́yìn tó kópa ńbẹ̀ lórí móhùnmáwòrán kan nílùú Àbújá tó ì jẹ́ pé àjọ akórìnjọ orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n tọpinpin bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ àjọ akórìnjọ ọ̀hún ọ̀nà ni wọ́n mú wá sí ìrántí pé mínísítà náà sọ di mímọ̀ lọ́dún 2019 kéde rẹ̀ gbangba yàyà pé ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari ti buwọ́ lu àfikún owó ìtanràn lẹ́yìn tó jẹ́ wípé wọ́n fi sínú àtúnṣe ìlànà ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí tí kò bá wá nídìí o obìnrin kì í jẹ́ kúmọ́lú ó sọ di mímọ̀ wípé nǹkan tó ṣe atọ́nà àtúnṣe náà òun náà ni pé ṣe rí owó ìtanràn náà èyí ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà òun ló jẹ́ èyí tó kéré tó yẹ pé àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n sì ní lọ́kàn láti fi ọ̀rọ̀ àlùbànṣá dojú orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà délẹ̀ tí wọ́n lè rí san ó ní pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn míì lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n wò pé tán ń gbé lọ́wọ́ yìí ó lè tiná bọlé ó lè dágbódòrò sọ́lẹ̀ òun náà ni wọ́n sọ fún iléeṣẹ́ agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ wípé tí wọ́n bá ta yín lójì sójú ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà náà lọ ni àlàásán ó ní tí wọ́n bá sì ti mú iléeṣẹ́ agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ ọ̀hún ṣíṣe náà ni àwọn tó ṣonígbọ̀wọ́ wọn ni wọ́n kówó náà lẹ̀ làwọn fi wá wò wípé bí àwọn bá gbọ́n bí àwọn èèyàn tó bá gbọ́n ọgbọ́n lábẹ́ àwọn báyìí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni àwọn náà tún wá gbé ìgbésẹ̀ míì làwọn fi fi kún mínísítà tó sọ̀rọ̀ síwájú ó ní pé ẹ̀wò ṣe rí àwọn èèyàn tó ń bu ẹnu àtẹ́lu ìjọba àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè wa nàìjíríà lórí ẹ̀kúnwó náà òun náà ni wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ rántí pé ọ̀rọ̀ kò bá kò lé ó ti dojú àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè kan bolẹ̀ ó wá mú wá bí àpẹẹrẹ ó ní ẹ wá wò ó ìjẹ́ ẹ̀mọ̀ ìpí ọ̀rọ̀ òun náà ni ó jẹ́ kí nǹkan pakasọ ní ibi tó jẹ́ wípé orílẹ̀-èdè Rwanda tó jẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n ń lọ bí ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ẹgbẹ̀rin níye òun ni wọ́n jí ọlọ́run nípè bákan náà tàbá báwo ní Botswana àti Cambodia ó ní ẹ̀wọ́ ṣe rí àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n tó ẹgbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ òun náà ni wọ́n jẹ́ aláìsìn lórí àsọtọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ náà ni oníṣẹ́ wa rí torílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà ó mọ̀ sẹ́pẹ́rẹ́ àní àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè míì owó ìtanràn àbí ìjìyà tí wọ́n fún àwọn tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ kò bá kù gbé ọgàn tí ọ oníṣẹ́ rí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àsọtọ́ wọ́n ní orílẹ̀-èdè Chad àwọn náà mọ̀ gbé ìgbésẹ̀ wọ́n mú àdínkù bá ìjáfáfá ìkànnì ayélujára lórílẹ̀-èdè ọ̀hún lójú náà àti pinwọ́ àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ àti kòbákulé tí kò bá kò gbé ọ̀rọ̀ tó mọ̀ lè fà ní wọ́n ní orílẹ̀-èdè Iceland náà oníṣẹ́ rí ẹni tó bá ti sọ ọ̀rọ̀ tí ọ̀yọ́ sọ àbọ̀rọ̀ tó lè tiná bọlé oníṣẹ́ rí jìyà tó wà fún ó ní ẹ̀wọ̀n ọdún 5 òun náà ní olúwa rẹ̀ ó fi jura bákan náà ní orílẹ̀-èdè Norway ó ní pé ẹ̀wọ̀n ọdún 2 tàbí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lónìí oníṣẹ́ rí orílẹ̀-èdè South Africa tó wà lẹ́kùnlé orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà gan oníṣẹ́ rí kò bá kùn gbé ọ̀rọ̀ kò sínú àǹfààní àbí ẹ̀tọ́ tí ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè náà ní ẹ̀tọ́ sí ní àbí òfin nítorí ìdí eléyìí àwọn gbé ìgbésẹ̀ láyìíká orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà kó bá dojú délẹ̀ ní o ẹni tó jẹ́ mínísítà fún ètò ìròyìn àti àṣà lórílẹ̀-èdè Lai Mohammed ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ní ẹ wá wò ó tá a bá wá ń sọ náà ṣe wá rí kò bá kùn gbé ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀hún kìí ṣe àná kìí sòní ni wọ́n ti ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà sì ni kò lè dẹ́kun ṣùgbọ́n sáyẹn tó wá mú tó fi wá fọn lójú òun náà ni ìtàkùn ayélujára ó ní tí wọ́n bá ti rọra sọ ní kọ́ lọ́ọ́ fi ibi tí wọ́n bá wà báyìí tí wọ́n bá ti fi sí orí ìtàkùn ayélujára ṣíṣe náà ni yóò di nǹkan tí ó máa ràn káàkiri bíi nẹ́rùn ó ní ẹ̀wẹ̀ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tí wọ́n ń ṣe akitiyan báyìí o láti máa tọpinpin gbogbo ohun tó bá lọ ní orí ìtàkùn ayélujára ṣùgbọ́n wọn ò ní tẹ ẹ̀tọ́ tọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ní lójú.
mọ́lẹ̀ àwọn gómìnà inú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú alábùradà PDP ti bu ẹnu àtẹ́ lu bí àwọn ọlọ́pàá ṣe ya lu ilé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Èdó àwọn gómìnà tí wọ́n dìbò yàn lábẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú alábùradà People's Democratic Party PDP wọ́n ti kó rojú sí ohun tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ọjọ́bọ̀ Thursday nílé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Èdó wọ́n ní ohun tí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ààbò ṣe náà ní ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó pẹ̀lú bí wọ́n ṣe fẹ́ fún àwọn aṣòfin tí òfin ò dámọ̀ ní ààyè nílé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Èdó nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan tí ẹni tí ó jẹ́ alákòóso àgbà fún ẹgbẹ́ náà fi síta èyí ní Cyril Maduabo sọ pé ìgbésẹ̀ ọ̀tẹ̀ òṣèlú ní ìgbésẹ̀ náà ó ní òṣèlú pọ́nbélé náà ni ó ní kí ló dé tí ẹ̀rù fi ń bà wọ́n láti fi gagbága pẹ̀lú Ọbaṣẹ́kì nínú ètò ìdìbò tí ò ní kọ́nu nǹkan nínú tí wọ́n ṣà ń wá gbogbo ọ̀nà láti dojú ìṣèjọba Ọbaṣẹ́kì bolẹ̀ àwọn gómìnà náà wá fi ìkìlọ̀ síta pé gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ kígbésẹ̀ tí wọ́n ń gbé láti gba ilé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Èdó àbí ìjókòó gómìnà lọ́nà ìtàn òun náà ni yóò dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ kọjá ìpínlẹ̀ Èdó wọ́n wá rọ ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari onílùú tí ò ní fẹ́ tó láti pe àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ elétò ààbò níbi tí wọ́n bá ti ń gbọ́ pé kí wọ́n má jẹ́ kí ẹnikẹ́ni lo àwọn ọlọ́pàá orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà lọ́nà ìtọ́ lọ́nà tí ó lè dá wàhálà ohun rògbòdìyàn sílẹ̀ torí kí àlàáfíà bá lè jọba lórílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà.
tó ẹjẹ́ máa mú ẹlẹ́ náà wá báyìí wọn ni pé àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ aṣíwájú àwọn ẹ̀yà àti èdè ní orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà nínú ẹ̀ta àtìrí pandef Afẹ́nifẹ́re Ohanaeze Ndigbo àti àwọn adarí lẹ́yìn tó jẹ́ wípé wọ́n wá láti apá orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà àti middle belt òun náà ni wọ́n ti gbé ìgbésẹ̀ báyìí o tí wọ́n sì ní pé bí òjò bá ń pa ẹ̀yẹ kan rẹ̀ gbogbo wa náà lè jí ń pa wọ́n ní lónìí náà ni kò ní dọ̀la òun ni wọ́n gúnlẹ̀ sí agbègbè gúúsù ìpínlẹ̀ Kaduna láti kẹ́dùn pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn tó jẹ́ pé àwọn agbébọn àwọn gidi kan kú tí wọ́n ń kọlù tí wọ́n sì ń fi lapín bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ní ẹ wò ó bákan náà ní ẹgbẹ́ àríwá àti tó ti fi ìgbà kan jẹ́ gómìnà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kaduna ẹ̀yìn sínítọ̀ Ahmed Mekafi ọ̀hún náà bu ẹnu àtẹ́lu bí ètò ààbò ṣe di akúrẹ̀tẹ̀ lágbègbè ọ̀hún gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ṣe wá sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ní ẹ wò ó ṣẹ́rí agbègbè gúúsù ìpínlẹ̀ Kaduna tó jẹ́ pé ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn tí ń gbé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n jẹ́ ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi ọ̀hún náà ni wọ́n ń kojú ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìṣekúpa ní lemọ́lemọ́ tó ìjẹ́ wípé bí wọ́n bá ṣe ń lọ náà ni wọ́n tún bọ̀ ìyún àwọn agbébọn yìí lẹ́yìn tó epo ti wá fa wuyewuye láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ẹ̀yà lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa Nàìjíríà àti àwọn ajàfẹ́tọ̀ọ́ ọmọnìyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni wọ́n tún tẹ̀síwájú wípé kí gómìnà ní ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún kó gbé ìgbésẹ̀ kánmọ́kíà lórí àti wá ojútùú fi òpin sí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìṣekúpani tí wọ́n ń pa àwọn èèyàn bíi ẹ̀rán bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ní tí a bá rántí tí a bá gbàgbé nílọ́lọ́ yìí ọ̀nà ní iléeṣẹ́ rẹ̀ ni wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ wípé ẹ wò ó dàbí ìgbésẹ̀ tí àwọn èèyàn fi ń ṣekú pa àwọn èèyàn ní agbègbè gúúsù Kaduna ló dàbí ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé bí adìẹ bá dání lóògùn nù á sì fọ́ lẹ́yìn pé wọ́n ń gbẹ̀san ni wọ́n ní ọ̀rọ̀ tí ìjọba sọ yìí òun ló dàbí ìgbà tí èèyàn bá fi orí raná tó sì gbóòórùn ara rẹ̀ wọ́n ní kò bá kò gbé ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ni àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà sọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ náà wípé kò yẹ kí eléyìí kó jáde láti àkàtà aláṣẹ nílọ́lọ́ yìí ọ̀hún náà ni gómìnà El-Rufai kéde rẹ̀ wípé kí òfin kólóńgbélé kó wà ní agbègbè náà fún ọlọ́gbọ̀nràn lórí àti pé wọ́n ìṣekúpa náà ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ní pé kàkà kóró ní arewé agogo ṣíṣe náà ló tún wọ́n peléke sí báyìí o tó ì jẹ́ pé ó sì wá tún lé sí bí ó ṣe rìn wọ́n ní ìṣekúpani yìí òun náà ni kò mọ̀ dáwọ́ dúró wọ́n léyìí tó ti wá wáyé léyìí tó kàn ọ̀rìn tọjọ́ òru àti ọjọ́bọ̀ tọ́ọ̀sì níbi tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ọlọ́pàá ti sọ di mímọ̀ wípé àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n ń lọ bíi 21 òun ni wọ́n jẹ́ Ọlọ́run nípè ṣùgbọ́n ṣá wọ́n ní pé ẹni tó jẹ́ agbẹnusọ ẹgbẹ́ kan tó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn olùgbé gúúsù Kaduna wọ́n máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan tó fi síta èyí Luka Binyat ó sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀sọ̀dúnmọ̀ oníṣẹ́ ìròyìn lẹ́yìn tí àwọn ọlọ́pàá sọ yìí ó ní kì í ṣe 21 ó ní pé 23 òun náà ni àwọn tó jọ́lọ̀ nípè ó ní pé kíṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ó tó wáyé oníṣẹ́ náà ni àwọn ọlọ́pàá ni wọ́n ń pàráàrò káàkiri lójú náà ti jẹ́ kí òfin kólóńgbélé ọlọ́gbọ̀nràn gàdàn tí wọ́n pàṣẹ rẹ̀ kó fìdí múlẹ̀ ó ní ṣùgbọ́n bí wọ́n ṣe lọ tán tí àwọn agbébọn yìí dé tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣaka wọn ó ní pé àwọn ọ̀mọ̀rí ẹrú tí ń jẹ́ àjíkẹ́ àwọn ọlọ́pàá ó ní pé àwọn ò tiẹ̀ rí àwọn ọlọ́pàá kí wọ́n wá ní gbogbo ìgbà yìí láti wá kẹ́dùn pẹ̀lú àwọn ènìyàn tó wà ní apá gúúsù ìpínlẹ̀ Kaduna èyí náà ló mú àwọn adarí ẹ̀yà lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa Nàìjíríà wípé ó yẹ kí àwọn náà ó débẹ̀ kí àwọn ó sì wọ̀n nǹkan tí àwọn lè sọ agbẹnusọ ẹgbẹ́ pandef ọ̀gbẹ́ni Robinson nínú ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ tí àwọn oníròyìn tí wọ́n ṣe fún ó ní ẹ̀wò ẹgbẹ́ àwọn àti àwọn ẹgbẹ́ míì nínú ètò àtìrí Afẹ́nifẹ́re Ohanaeze Ndigbo àti àwọn míì òun náà ni wọ́n bá àwọn èèyàn agbègbè gúúsù Kaduna ní wọ́n bá kẹ́dùn lásìkò bàkòbàkòlé lẹ́yìn tó jẹ́ wípé àwọn agbébọn òun náà ni wọ́n fẹ́ sọ àtẹ ọ̀rúnlá di àtẹ ẹ̀lẹ́kẹ́ wọn di àtẹ ọ̀rúnlá nítorí eléyìí làwọn fi wá wò pé kí àwọn gbé ìgbésẹ̀ ó ní ẹ̀wà mọ̀ wò náà ó ní pé túmọ̀ sí pé ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari wọn ò dá sọ̀rọ̀ náà ó ní pé tí ààrẹ bá dá sọ̀rọ̀ náà ni ó ní pé yẹ kó ti ní ojútùú àti pé gbọmọgbọmọ àwọn agbébọn yìí ó yẹ kó ti dínkù bákan náà ni ààrẹ gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n wà ní agbègbè middle belt lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa Nàìjíríà dókítà Bitrus Pogun òun náà sọ̀rọ̀ ó ní pé ó ṣe rí àbẹ̀wò tí àwọn fẹ́ ṣe òun náà láti fojúnujú pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn tó wà ń bẹ̀ lórí ọṣẹ́ tí àwọn agbébọn tí wọ́n ṣe fún wọn ń bẹ̀ àti láti wo ọ̀nà àbáyọ oníṣẹ́ irúfẹ́ àwọn èèyàn yìí ni wọ́n nílò ìdóòlà tó lóòrìn ní kánmọ́nkíá bákan náà ni igbákejì akọ̀wé ìkéde gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ Ohanaeze Ndigbo Chuks Igbegbu òun náà mọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ ó ní ẹ̀wò òun fẹ́ ṣe àbẹ̀wò sí agbègbè gúúsù Kaduna ó ní pé ní orúkọ ẹgbẹ́ òun ẹ̀yìn Coalition of Civil Society Organization tí òun jẹ́ ààrẹ ẹgbẹ́ náà ni bákan náà nínú ọ̀rọ̀ akọ̀wé nínú ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tó jíjí sí ìkéde gbogbogbò nínú ẹgbẹ́ Àríwá Emmanuel Yawe òun náà sọ̀rọ̀ oníṣẹ́ rí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ lẹ́yìn tó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú ìṣekúpani ní agbègbè gúúsù Kaduna ó ló burú jáì.
ẹ má jẹ́ kí ohun tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Zamfara ìpínlẹ̀ Rivers àti ìpínlẹ̀ Bayelsa ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Edo Buhari ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ fún ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ní ìpínlẹ̀ Edo tó ṣùwọ́n ní òye báyìí làgbà wò àti pé ohun tágbàlagbà bá rí lórí ìjókòó ni tọmọdé bá gunge lọ kò lè rí o ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari onílù tí ò ní fẹ́ otu ti sọ fún àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú olóṣùṣọwọ̀ APC ní ìpínlẹ̀ Edo pé kí wọ́n rí i wípé wọ́n tẹ̀lé gbogbo ìlànà tí òfin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí gbé kalẹ̀ fún ètò ìdìbò kí wọ́n bá lè jáwé olúborí o bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló sọ fún àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ olóyè ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC lápapọ̀ ààrẹ buhari ló gbàlejò olùdíje fún ipò gómìnà lábẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú olóṣòwò apc pẹ̀lú alága ìgbìmọ̀ afúnṣọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú náà tó tún jẹ́ gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ yobe èyí ní malabuni alága ẹgbẹ́ àwọn gómìnà ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú apc nílẹ̀ yìí tó tún jẹ́ gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ kebbi abubakar atiku bagudu àti ẹni tí ó jẹ́ alága fún ètò ìpolongo ìbò ní ìpínlẹ̀ edo tó tún jẹ́ gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ kano èyí ní abdullahi umar ganduje ààrẹ muhammadu buhari ní kí wọ́n ṣọ́ra fún ohun tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ rivers zamfara bayelsa lọ́dún 2019 ṣé wọ́n sì ní iná èṣìṣì ni kì í jóni lẹ́ẹ̀mejì ààrẹ ni ó dàbí pé ó dáhùn lójú o pé dídùn lọ́sàn-án-oṣù pẹ̀lú ìgbésẹ̀ tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú apc ń gbé láti parí gbogbo àwọ̀ àti dúkù tó wà nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú náà ní ìpínlẹ̀ edo ààrẹ ni àmọ́ kí ẹgbẹ́ náà ṣọ́ra o kí wọ́n má fi ọwọ́ ara wọn ba iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ti ṣe jẹ́ o. ọgbẹ́ni michael ogushina ọ̀rọ̀ ni ààrẹ sọ yìí lórí ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ edo àwọn kan ti ń sọ ṣáájú àsìkò yìí pé ṣé ààrẹ ò tiẹ̀ ní sọ nǹkan kan ni ààrẹ sọ̀rọ̀ pé kí wọ́n má jẹ́ kí ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ zamfara ìpínlẹ̀ bayelsa àti ìpínlẹ̀ rivers ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ edo ǹjẹ́ tí ọ̀rọ̀ bá ń lọ báyìí bó ṣe lọ ní ìpínlẹ̀ edo ìpínlẹ̀ wo ni ó ṣeé ṣe kí ọ̀rọ̀ ìpínlẹ̀ kó dàbí ti ìpínlẹ̀ edo ṣé ó jẹ́ jọra wọn lápá ibì kankan.
ó jọra wọn lápá ibì kan ṣe mọ̀ pé ẹjọ́ ṣì wà ní ilé ẹjọ́ tó ń sọ bóyá Ezeyamu tọ́ láti dìbò nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ẹjọ́ ẹ̀ ṣì wà ní ilé ẹjọ́ pé Ezeyamu kò yẹ kó jẹ́ olùdíje nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC so ó ṣeé ṣe àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀ tí ìdá ẹjọ́ yẹn ó lè dọ̀lá kẹ́ adájọ́ dá ẹjọ́ kó sọ pé kì í ṣe àmọ́ ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari sọ pé ẹ rí i pé ẹ borí nípínlẹ̀ Edo àmọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ kó dàbí Zamfara àbí Rivers ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ ní pé ẹ ṣe ń tẹ́ bá lè ṣe láti rí i pé ẹ wọlé nípínlẹ̀ Edo.
wọ́n wà fún wọn sí pé kó má kọjá òfin.
kó má kọjá nǹkan tí èmi kàn fẹ́ sọ ni pé tẹ́lẹ̀ máa ti di ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè ó ti di bàbá APC àti bàbá PDP.
bàbá gbogbo ẹgbẹ́
ni.
àwọn kan ti rò pé tí ààrẹ fi sọ báyìí pé ó yẹ kó bá gbogbo wọn sọ̀rọ̀ yìí pé.
tí mo sọ náà nìyẹn pé káàrẹ sọ fún gbogbo yín pé àti APC o àti PDP ní ọdún nígbà tí ọṣẹ mọlẹ tó dìbò nígbà táwọn di gómìnà táwọn dìde táwọn wọlé wọ́n lọ sí Àbújá ìgbà yẹn Goodluck Jonathan ní ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè wọ́n lọ bá Jonathan wọ́n ní àwọn adúpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ pé nípínlẹ̀ Edo ìgbà yẹn ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú alátakò ni wọ́n wà o ní òṣèmọ̀lẹ́ wà o wọn sí ní ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Jonathan o àmọ́ wọ́n dìbò nípínlẹ̀ Edo ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú alátakò tó ṣèmọ̀lẹ́ wà gba ACN wọ́n dẹ̀ wọlé nígbà tó dẹ̀ wọlé ó lọ sí Àbújá ló dúpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ààrẹ Goodluck Jonathan tó ní ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú míì ó ní ààrẹ mọ́ dúpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín torí pé ẹ jẹ́ kí ìbò wa ẹ jẹ́ kó fọhùn ní ìpínlẹ̀ Edo ó ní bóyá sọ́lẹ̀ bó ni pé I came to greet you because you are allowed one man one vote in Edo State. So dem náà fẹ́ sọ fún ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari tó bá ṣe é ṣe kànjọ́ kàn rí pé nípínlẹ̀ Edo one man one vote kí wọ́n fi kí wọ́n má jẹ́ káwọn ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú wọn tàbí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP kí wọ́n má jẹ́ kán fi àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ààbò dúnkokò àbí ṣe àwọn èèyàn léṣe bá ṣe nípínlẹ̀ Kano ìpínlẹ̀ Kaduna ìpínlẹ̀ Bayelsa àti ìpínlẹ̀ Kogi ẹ̀mí àwọn èèyàn ju APC àti PDP lọ.
ẹ ṣeun 08055009850 nọ́mbà tí ẹ láǹfààní láti pè sí.
hello.
ẹ bá gbọ́n sókè dáadáa.
ẹ káàárọ̀ orúkọ yín bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí ń pè wá o.
wàhálì láti ìsàlẹ̀
ìdí ọ̀sán.
Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́.
wàhálì láti
Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ àgbọ̀ yìí sà.
nǹkan tó ti dàgbẹ́ sọ ni pé ọ̀rọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ bàbá méjì ti ìpànìyàn tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Katsina àti Zamfara lọ.
ẹrù bẹ́ẹ̀.
ní ìṣe ìbá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ bí ọ̀gá wa rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ní gbọ́dọ̀ náà ló ti ń ṣe kàkéèkì ìgbà kejì wọn wá sí Katsina. ìgbà tí wọ́n lé ẹ̀jẹ̀ ìkùnkùn wọn bẹ̀ ní ìṣẹ́ wọn wá ń pààyàn ní ìṣẹ́ ti ṣe bàbá wa ló ṣe rábẹ̀ láwọn tó ṣe wọ́n ti ẹgbẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó ara ti kàn bẹ̀. àìní ìwà ọkọ̀ ìṣẹ́jọ́ wọn ń dá sọ́rọ̀ òṣèlú níbẹ̀ ìṣẹ́jọ́ abákẹ́lá ní ìpé ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú ọjọ́ wọn lógún ju ẹ̀mí àwọn èèyàn tó kọ̀ tí ọba rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ààrẹ láti yẹn náà wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ gbìyànjú láti ẹ̀ṣẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ láti yẹn lọ sí ìlú ìjẹ̀yẹ láti lọ sí ẹ̀yìn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹ̀gbọ́ tó ṣe wà látọ̀. ilé yẹn ti wá pọ̀jù wọn fún ọ lóye ẹni tí ń sọ ní ní ìṣe kékeré náà.
ẹ ṣeun.
àtàwọn ìwé ìkólọ́wọ́ sàmì wà ní kó gbàdúrà àwọn ẹni títí ní yìí kàn gbogbo ìgbà ni wọ́n ti sunkún ní ọdún tuntun ní ọdún tuntun ẹ̀wọ̀ yìí èmi tó ti bọ́. Wọ́n tọrọ òṣèlú ní wọ́n wá jẹ́ lójú tí wọ́n lọ sọ̀rọ̀ pé wọ́n wá ní ìṣèlú gbé sọ́ńtì ládàá. Nípa ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tó lè bẹ̀rù.
ẹ ṣeun 08055009850.
hello sir ẹ káàárọ̀ orúkọ ibùdó ti pè wá.
orúkọ mi ni adéwọlé ẹgbẹ̀rún látọ̀rọ̀.
à ń gbọ́ yín sà o.
yẹ́sà ọ̀rọ̀ tí bàbá láyé mohammed sọ ìṣòro sáré lójú lórí owó ìtanràn ẹni tí ọba sọ̀rọ̀ òdì.
ọ̀rọ̀ kò bá kó gbé ọ̀rọ̀ kórìíra.
ní òun ni mo fẹ́ sọ ní lórí.
à ń gbọ́ yín.
ẹ̀sà kí wọ́n máa fẹ̀kọ́ tán náà fọmọ nàìjíríà mọ́ látàrí pé tọmọ nàìjíríà làwọn ń ṣe tọmọ nàìjíríà kọ́ ni wọ́n ń ṣe ara wọn ni wọ́n ń ṣe wọ́n má parọ́ fún amápáwà làwọn ń ṣe tẹ̀wọ́tí wa kọ́ wọ́n ń ṣe tara wọn wọ́n ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ wọn dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ bí ojú orin wà já ìdè oníláyí parọ́ irọ́ ńlá.
08055.
àǹfààní tẹ fún tá a fún ẹ má jẹ ká sí lò ní tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nù ẹ káàárọ̀.
hello. ẹ káàárọ̀. orúkọ yín bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí kò.
ìyá lóríta ní Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́.
yes ma. à ń gbọ́ yín.
mo sì gbogbo ẹkùnrin látàárọ̀.
yes ma.
àní ọlọ́run ní fi wálẹ̀ o.
àmì o.
àwọn ará ìpínlẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ lèmi fẹ́ rọ̀.
à ń gbọ́ yìí.
káwọn ẹni tó wù wọ́n láti dìbò fún káwọn àwọn tó bá yẹ gbẹ́ kan àgbẹ̀gbẹ́ kan kọ́mọ̀ gbà pé wọ́n kò jùlọ ọdún mẹ́rin. ọlọ́run ṣàánú wọn níyàn fún wọn o.
àmì o ẹ ṣeun.
Jonathan náà ti sọ nínú ìròyìn tá a kà wí pé òun wo àkókò tó pé àwọn èèyàn lè dúró láti yàn fúnra wọn.
hello.
ẹ káàárọ̀.
08055009850. hello.
ẹ káàárọ̀.
ẹ káàárọ̀ sà.
ẹ káàárọ̀.
orúkọ yín bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí ń pè wá.
àgbọ̀tá ìmọ̀jọ́ bàjẹ́ láti Ṣakí.
láti Ṣakí à ń gbọ́ yín o.
akínyìn akú ọ̀rọ̀ ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ bàjẹ́ ọlọ́run ti kí nàìjíríà rẹ̀ ọ̀dà.
àmì o.
ọlọ́run ti kò wò wá lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń ṣètò ní ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ bàjẹ́.
àmì o.
ẹ̀rí àti ẹgbẹ́ APC àti PDP káfíńtẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́hùn fún orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà kọ́lọ́run jẹ́ ọ̀dà ní àpapọ̀. ẹni tọ́lọ́run bá sì ní kó jẹ́ olórí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọlọ́run ṣe sọ ní ẹ̀sìn tiwa pé tó bá jẹ́ olórí agbọ̀nà fún ní àfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ kí ìlú lè lè gbà. ọlọ́run sì ní jẹ́ kí ìlú ọ bàjẹ́. èyí tí wọ́n sì ń gbèrò ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èdó ẹni tí ó dáa náà lọ́nà wọn yẹ fún un. tó látẹgbẹ́ PDP àti APC tẹ́nìkẹ́ bá kó nu ẹgbẹ́ PDP lónìí tó lọ sí APC lọ́la àwọn APC ó pọ̀ dáa. tẹ́nìkẹ́ bá kó nu ẹgbẹ́ APC tó bá lọ sínú ẹgbẹ́ PDP àwọn PDP ó sọ dé yẹn níjẹ́ tó bá tún ti kó nu ọ̀dọ̀ wọn wọ́n ti sọ dé yẹn sí yẹn ọlọ́run nínú gbogbo wọn. sí ìwà tó wù tó fi kó lọ PDP tó ti tẹ́jì ẹ̀ nígbà tó débi APC ni àbí ìwà tó wù nígbà tó wà ní PDP nígbà tó dà àbí nígbà tó wà nínú APC nígbà tó dé lọ PDP tó ti pààrọ̀ wá rẹ̀. òun là ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ kọ́lọ́ dáhùn kó bá tó orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lọ́wọ́ kó sì bá fún gbogbo àwọn adarí wa kọ́lọ́ dáhùn kó jí kí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà dà kò ní bàjẹ́ o.
àmì o. 08055009850 nọ́mbà tí ẹ láǹfààní láti pè sí.
hello. ẹ káàárọ̀. yes sir orúkọ yín bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí ń pè wá.
yes sir orúkọ mi ní ọ̀làdùnmí.
láti bọ̀
Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́.
láti Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ à ń gbọ́ yín o ọ̀làdùnmí.
ẹni tí mo fẹ́ dá sí mi lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn èèyàn Kaduna tí àwọn apààyàn wọn pa. ó ti fẹ́ ṣàtúnṣe àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà tí ó ń gbé. àwọn olórí wa bá yàn láti orí ààrẹ àti mọ̀ wípé wọ́n ń gbẹ́ lórí ìwé ìròyìn tí wọ́n máa fẹ́ tàbí ẹran. ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n náà kò sí ìpínlẹ̀ káwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà ti di àdúrà ìpínlẹ̀ bá ti di àdúrà sí Ọlọ́run wa ẹni tó lè gbà wá nìyẹn. èmi lọ ìgbìyànjú tó gbégbà yóò ti fi lẹ́sìn àwọn olórí méjì láti jẹ́ pé ó ṣe ojúṣe wọn bó ti tó àti bó ti yẹ.
àìsí àìsídé ní wá ìpínlẹ̀ ẹ̀dínlẹ́sẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́wọ̀n wà lọ́wọ́.
àmì ní àdúrà ọ̀nà ni ó lè ṣe.
a ní láǹfààní láti gba ìpè kankan mọ́ ní òwúrọ̀ tòní. adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbẹ̀yìn tí ẹ ti pè wá, adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yìí tí ẹ fẹ́ pè náà àmọ́ tí ẹ láǹfààní àti wọlé. adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn wa tó wà ní Agility FM 92.1 Òkè Ògùn FM 96.3. àwọn ènìyàn Michael Ogunṣina ẹ ṣeun.
mú kí ara lé náà pé ẹ ṣe yóò pàdé di ọjọ́ ajé lábọ̀rọ̀ lọ́hùn.
tọ́wọ́ títí ọjọ́ ajé Monday tẹ́tí mọ́ pàdé àwọn akin ẹlẹgbẹ́ wa ní orí ètò Elétí Ọ̀fẹ́. èyí Táyọ̀ Olúṣọlá lèmi jẹ́ Táyọ̀ láwọn tún pàdé.
Kúnlé Fani ẹ kú kalẹ̀.
àmì òjèjì rédíò tí ó láfiwé Olúyọ̀lé FM àwa ni bàbá.
odò olúworo jìnworo òkú ajá ò gbọdọ̀ gbó òkú àgbò ò gbọdọ̀ kàn ìràwé tó bá fojú dodo yóò sì ṣègbé olùfẹ̀rẹ̀ kúfẹ̀ ẹ̀rù la fi ń dábàrà wa ta ni ń jẹ ntájà ń jùrù àmọ̀tẹ́kùn dé gbogbo oníṣẹ́ ẹbí ẹbí làsẹ́yìn ẹbí ti pé kú tíyetíye olú ọ̀ràn má fọ̀rànkọ̀ràn kọ́ wa lọ́rùn nílẹ̀ kóòtù àjìbí bádìí ẹ bá yé gbẹ̀yìn yóò sì fi kan ṣe dábàá ilẹ̀ Yorùbá bọ́ lọ́wọ́ kú ọ̀wọ́wọ́ ikú yẹ̀wátì gírígírí ẹsẹ̀ kò yín gé ọlá òkè ìgbà ọkọ ìgbà àdá tí ń bókè dìtẹ̀ òkè náà ni ó borí wọn Yorùbá dé àmọ̀tẹ́kùn dé gbogbo ẹranko wẹ́wẹ́wẹ́ bìlà.
rédíò àti tẹlifíṣàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
Hello, children. Is learning fun? Kiddies Challenge is the program on Oluyole FM 98.5 every Saturday from
11 a.m. to 11:30.
It's engaging, engrossing, and enriching. Let's come together to relax and bring out the exceptional academic and socio-cultural skills. Kiddies Challenge. It's exceptional.